Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Storm King's Thunder right here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful. I repeat, humble and merciful Dungeon Master. Don't listen to what my players tell you. I am very humble and very merciful. Right, guys? Right?
Repeat that 3 more times and it might be true.
I got a frog in my throat.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 66 of Storm King's Thunder. If you're tuning in for the first time tonight, we're glad that you're here. You don't need to know everything that's going on within our campaign to hang out and dive right in. But if you'd like to know, you can go back to our YouTube channel and you can subscribe there and you can catch up on all of our episodes for all of our streaming content right here at Proficiency Bonus. So make sure that you go check it out, man. We want to thank Twitch, Streamlabs, Many-Sided Dice, and Team MZ for all their support and supporting a local small streamer like us. Uh-oh. What are you saying uh-oh for, Ashlyn? Sarah?
Nothing.
So, are we?
Fiddling with my camera settings.
No. Sarah is crashing her camera. It's... Yes. Oh, that looks more blue now. Now it looks more red. Oh, you're messing. You don't know what to do. Oh no. Now, math.
Oh my god.
That's what happens. That's what happens when Molfin goes to the ethereal plane. That's what he looks like.
I'm keeping dreadful behavior.
That's what happens. Yeah, it's like everybody's been toying around with it tonight. Oh, I wish I had access to stuff like that, but I use a Mac. No. Feel bad for me. No.
Cure you eventually.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody. We're just so glad that you're here. Just a quick recap of what's been happening. Our adventuring party has made it to Waterdeep after defeating Crow the Black, a Lich Queen that has been haunting them for quite some time. You may ask, where is Storm King's Thunder in all this? And I will tell you, I have no idea. To be 100% honest, not really sure. But you know what? We're still going to play anyway. We're going to trudge on forward. And we made it to Waterdeep. We got to meet Lachlan's parents. And we got to find out a little bit more about Lachlan's backstory as they traveled to meet one of Lachlan's former employers, Aldok, which ended up to be a beholder with an eye patch. And Lachlan is trying to pay off his parents' debt to this Aldok individual for allowing his parents to have the establishment that they have in Waterdeep. Aldok told him that he would erase all the debt if he could find him a wizard or mage powerful enough to enchant a glass eye with the ability to be able to nullify magical effects. After all this happened, they head off to a bar. Molfin headed back to Callista to let her know what was going on as they were planning the funeral arrangements for Anastazius. And that's where we're going to pick up tonight's session. Is there anything else that we wanted to chime in and throw in there? At the beginning, there was an attempt to resurrect Anastazius that failed. And at the end of the failed attempt, the party saw that the gem that they were using to help to as components for the spell glue red, and then at the end a few black feathers fell onto the floor.
So it wasn't my singing. No, it wasn't your singing.
I was a little afraid it was Asmodeus, to be honest, when it started glowing red. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not the way to get on her good side, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Join me, Callista, as I kill everyone you love.
So we're just going to pick up right back where we left off with Molfin going back to communicate all this information to Callista and Diana. Lachlan, Ashlyn, I think Tren.
Also, Zoss is not here today.
Oh yeah, Zoss is out tonight. She had some other arrangements, so Diana will be on RP Light this evening. So, what have you, adventurers? And so the story is told. Take us away.
That's how it is. Molfin was discussing with Diana, trying to convince her to come convey and join with the rest of the party if everything was taken care of.
I think you should just talk to Callista about that, though.
How
Right,
convenient.
because, death wish is what Molten has right now.
Volpa has all the death wishes. What are you talking about?
It's just not about himself.
Right.
This would probably be something that Diana would have taken care of, but Dorn would have come back to you guys eventually and asked the temple, or actually the hospice of, I can't remember the name, Saint Loud.
St. Lowry's seasoning salt.
Yeah.
St. Lobster. That's
Saint,
what Ashley called it.
Ashley called it Saint Lobster. Yeah, she did call it Saint Lobster, didn't she? I have it right here. Where is it at? Yeah, Hospice of Saint Lobson. Yeah, Lobson.
Close enough.
Laupsenn. Lobson.
Oh.
Yeah. So the hospice would want to know if you guys want to spend the money to attempt the same ritual with the one woman who had passed away under that you guys had that saved from Cruella.
What was the other? Was it?
Where'd my notebook
Is it
go?
Uni that was
Uni.
saved, or Oriel?
There were, I think, all of them but one were saved, weren't they?
Yeah, but I can't remember which one.
Was
it Oriel?
I killed the big fish.
Oh, I think maybe Umi died.
Umi might have been the one that died. Wait, Umi was the pink gem.
Oh yeah, we took. Go to Umi's store. Blah, blah.
Which one was the one that died?
I'm pretty sure it was Umi.
Which
Because Evelina.
which villain
knew
did you have to
Umi.
kill to get
She was supposed to make a deck save, but she was unconscious, so she couldn't. So she just automatically.
that was the one with the black dragon, right?
Yes.
Or the
Yeah.
green
jungle
dragon.
landscape with the cave mouth and the palm trees on the mountain and the swimming.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Umi.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, well,
Oh, cause Dorn died, so we had to resurrect him. Yeah.
yeah. That was the same encounter Dorn, had died.
Oh, Shatter Pink Umi's.
I
gem.
shattered all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but if she's got marked down shattered pink, and that means it's Umi.
Umi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll say it's Umi, and if it's wrong and we go back and we vodcast and we find out that it's not,
We just switched the
we'll
names.
just switch the names. Yeah, that's one thing. That's the great thing about Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, they want
Because I think Callista wanted to know what Evelina and Oriel wanted, like if they thought it was the right thing to do to try to bring her back or let her rest. I wanted their opinion on it before she would consider anything else.
Anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
opinion.
'cause they're
Their
yeah.
opinion would be that they would probably say yes, that they want to resurrect her.
okay.
But ultimately it would be they're not really they're kind of in this post-traumatic situation right now where they have no idea what is going on. They're out of space and time. The landscape has totally changed. The culture is just so much different from what they remember. It's like Encino Man. Imagine you're a caveman and you wake up and you're in the modern way. You have no idea what is going on with anything, and
Just flashback to Lachlan is his giant ape impression.
yes, exactly. But they would tell you they would want her resurrected. They would want her brought back. But the priests, the doctors, all of them are pretty skeptical. They got people sitting there like almost like psychiatrists, kind of talking to them back and forth. Just trying to ask them about what's going on, what's happening. Just small talk, just to get them more comfortable with this whole situation, which is going to take a lot of time.
Right. How do the priests feel about bringing her back?
They're hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like one of those things, like quality of life kind of aspect.
Yeah, that's what Callista's concerned about.
Are we going to bring this woman back and she's just going to be basically confined to this hospice for the rest of her life? Because she can't find a way back into society the way that she needs to. This is someone who probably would have died a long time ago from old age, natural causes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how the Temple of Ilmater would justify that, but they would
Right.
they would consider the suffering of the individual because that's their main focus.
Mm-hmm.
They might think that the soul is best off where it is.
Then Callisto would probably let it stand for now.
Mhm.
That we don't bring them back, at least until there's evidence that these two can be reintroduced properly without too much trauma, because she doesn't want to like have 3 instead of 2 that are just done.
Right. That makes
So I
perfect
think
sense.
Callisto would want to hold off.
Okay.
Not saying no, but not yet.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. That makes sense. Lachlan and Ashlyn, you guys are just relaxing, having some ale. It's not a huge tavern by any sorts, but it's not like a dive or anything. It's a pretty nice place. Kind of, right there on the edge of the Castle Ward and Trades Ward, so it gets a lot of good business. You can see there's a lot of patrons around, just having a quick bite to eat, getting some drinks.
Lachlan,
Yeah.
do you want to try the Yawning Portal and see what's there? Cause that lady, or do you want to just hang here with, Oh, I forget Impy was here. Oh, trying to
I mean, look. Shh. I'm a rat. Shh.
Yeah.
God, I mean, Rocky, should we go visit
here.
Yeah. So what do you want to do?
Trent's like, wait, you want to go? You guys want to go to the Yawning Portal?
Yeah. Is that like a cool place to go?
Oh yeah, it's great.
All right, you want to try that, Lachlan?
Isn't it kind of wild around there? People go to find trouble.
Yeah,
The Fight Club, Lachlan.
Yeah, there is a place down by the dock ward that does that.
Lachlan, you should totally do that.
Yeah,
I lose every time there's a fight club.
it's got a perfect
We
name.
haven't been to a Fight Club yet. It's just been me punching you in the face.
Yeah, and I lose every time.
Trent looks at you and starts laughing. you punch him in the face?
Yeah, somehow.
Well, then you'll love the place. It's called the Bloody Fist.
Totally.
Ashlyn, sounds like it's right up your alley.
You too, Lachlan. You're Scruffity, rigmarole.
That I am.
Yeah,
I am.
you got that fighting spirit. So, yeah, that's something
Yeah.
we can do.
Oh, absolutely. What about the others? I think we should try to... When are we going to hear back from Gramps?
Well, can he talk through MP?
I don't
I
know.
don't know how magic works.
Can Muffin talk through Impy?
Within a distance, how far away from them?
Boy, I can't tell. You're about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6 blocks away.
I'm gonna say probably. Well, actually,
How many
check
feet?
my spell.
How many feet is a block? Can anybody do
It says we're 11 feet from you. You're in the sea.
that is an inaccurate measurement considering the map that I used.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can only telepathically communicate within 100 feet, but I can send my senses to him and see and hear what he sees and hears.
Okay.
Okay.
So he'll have a eye on us. I mean, like, it's not like he won't know where we're going.
Yeah. That's true, it's true.
Brock kind of finishes off an ale and he's like, yeah, Ashlyn, I'd really like to see you in a fight in a bar like that. The Bloody Fist. Oh, that would be so cool.
I thought, okay, well, let's try the Yawning Portal first, and then we'll see how it goes with the Bloody Fist. So, you know.
The yay votes win, I guess.
Tren looks at you, Lachlan. He's like, you know what if we did this? What if, Locke, what if I got the rest of the guys, you know, Fallen and Riser, and brought them to meet us at the Yawning Portal later, and we could have dinner there, and we could just hang out and catch up.
Get the old gang together.
We could get the gang back together, yeah.
Oh, I like it. Ashley, you're gonna love these guys.
Awesome.
But it'd probably take me a little bit of time. So what do you say?
Sure.
Say a little about dinner time. We'll meet there.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Right.
He kind
It's
of
gonna be wonderful.
looks at Ashley. And he's like, "Yeah, but let's make it a date." And he winks at you.
Yeah. Winking really discreetly.
Ashley's like winking both eyes.
Sounds great.
Ashley, are you okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's a yeah. Ha ha ha.
As you're winking, you kind of glance back down at Lachlan's lap, and you can see Impy.
Ah.
These two really pointed rat teeth like sticking out from his snout.
Why do we have to take AC again? Okay. Can we put him in the back of the holding?
Yes, for a couple of minutes.
Gramps is a little scary these days. I don't know that I necessarily want to open up that can of
Impy,
explosions.
Does Impy breathe?
Impy just kind of like looks at you. Shh.
Okay.
I'll put him up on my shoulder.
One of the bartenders is like, "Hey, get that out of here. We have a clean establishment here. We don't need any of those running around here.
Yeah.
Those belong in the dock ward."
We're on our way there.
So Lachlan is making his way out of the tavern.
Yeah.
Tren kind of splits up from you guys, and he heads. Looks like he's heading back down south, past some of the areas of the trades ward, and he kind of disappears into the busy alleys and streets. I'm gonna go ahead and put some. Let's see if I can put some town music on here as we get to some not so creepy music. So we got some people walking around. It's Waterdeep. It's a crowded city. Things are happening.
Good to be back in civilization.
Yep. And Molfin and Callista, you guys are still up north. What exactly would you guys be doing at this point?
Does it look like it's safe to approach Callista yet?
I don't know. Callista, describe to Molfin what your overall vibe is right now.
She's been very quiet this entire time. She's not wearing her cloak anymore. She's probably spending a little time with Cleo, but other than that, she's probably in her own world. Probably doesn't even notice that you and Diana are there or around. She doesn't look like angry anymore. She just looks different.
Okay, Molfin's going to sort of meander himself because I know Diana's been sticking pretty close to Callista.
Yeah, I think maybe at this point in time, too, maybe Diana and Dorn would go and kind of communicate with some of the priests of Vilmater and things like that, and maybe she can get caught up and kind of catch the vibe on what's going on with the rest of the girls and things like that. So this will give her an opportunity to go off with Dorn a little bit.
Well, as Molfin watches his entrance into the conversation sort of walk away, just...
Uncomfortably, Molfin is standing in front of Callista.
Callista, can we speak?
Sure. I'll follow him.
It's... I fear there's much we need to accomplish in the short time we are here. And currently, Lachlan, Ashlyn, and Brock are off in their own ways at this point. I understand we have much planning to do for Anastazius, but
I've got most of it covered.
if
The ceremony will be in about 5 to 6 days, so we have time if you guys have stuff to do.
I could use your assistance, and perhaps when you are feeling more, I don't necessarily want to say yourself, but there's a conversation I wish to have with you about a certain individual, and perhaps a seat that may give us both what we are looking for.
What do you mean?
Well, it is no secret that I have no love lost for that creature that seems to be interfering in our day-to-day. Now, given the apparent interference again just a short while ago, I feel it is high time we start making plans to deal with her. Shall we say my benefactor has given me information that should we see our journey through to the end and deal with this giant problem, there is a seat of power that one could use to perhaps deal with this woman. Given my own thirst for power, I felt it may be a better option to have someone else explore its use. Morphin will very sort of softly gesture towards Callista.
There's a seat of power that you think I would benefit from?
I
Do I
feel
look
that
like a leader to you, Molflin?
it is not that sort of power, my dear. It is the sort of power that, should you utilize that item and I utilize what I have already claimed, well, I suppose I should say that black-feathered bitch won't know what hit her.
Now you're talking my language.
It just involves stealing the throne of the Storm King, who we must
Hecaton.
deal with anyway, so.
Hecaton.
Yes, I believe that is the name we heard. Then perhaps we can deal with the problem that seems to have claimed both my grandnephew and, well, your dear Anastazius.
They were both important to me, Molflin.
Yes, I am not. I mean, not to lessen Moby's import to you. Just
She's
know.
very important to me. She's taken two of the most important people in my life. And I'm going to take everything from her.
And should you allow me, I will be there to aid you. But I feel we may need to deal with Lachlan and a small situation here, or rather
We have lots of situations to deal with, Molflin.
Yes, do you remember our good friend Sarvin?
Yes.
Well, apparently Lachlan's family, well, I suppose that would mean my family, but apparently the family owes a great sum of money to a beholder who had his eye plucked out of him by a dragonborn.
Oh. So he wasn't full of it?
Apparently not. shock of shocks. I swore he was just another Lachlan, but
No, I'm. Wow.
so he has
I guess we
offered
owe him
to-
more credit than due.
Well, either that or no. He has charged Lachlan with finding a very powerful wizard to enchant a glass eye for him.
Sarvin?
No, the beholder.
Oh.
If
Wait.
he does this,
Wait, back up.
Yes.
Back up. Are you telling me there's a beholder in the city?
Yes, underneath a flower shop.
Of all places.
I asked Lachlan where I could go to buy some magical supplies. So he proceeded to lead me to his parents' shop, then to a flower store, then into a dumpster underground to speak with a beholder.
Sounds about
As
right.
you can see, I have no alcohol on me at the moment.
No, this is on par with Lachlan. I'm not at all surprised by this.
So he has offered to forgive all debts that my grandson owes if Lachlan finds a wizard strong enough to enchant this glass eye for him so he can wage war on another beholder. I'd rather not be here long enough to have anything to do with that.
So then what exactly is the plan to get Lachlan out of this shit?
Well, the beholder did not put a timetable on this request. So I figure we get what supplies we need in the city, take care of the arrangements for Anastazius, and then continue on our way. Should we happen to run into any slightly insane magic users in our travels.
Beside you.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard something for a moment. Must have been a jellyfish in my ear. But if we can run into one, or if we come out of this on top, or if we run into the other beholder, hey, we just merely tell him where his enemy is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, is it not?
Usually.
Ashlyn still doesn't get that.
But to purchase most of the supplies I need, it requires going to the underground markets, which Lachlan has found a way to get us there, apparently.
Why do you need supplies from the underground market, Mulfin?
For my magic, apparently it is somewhat controlled in the city. Lachlan warned me not to be seen walking around with my staff out of all things.
And what about the shroud?
Seems none have commented as of yet.
And it's not influencing you in any way?
Not at the moment.
So it has?
Oh, of course.
There are moments that my urges turn to a slightly darker path. But for the majority of times, I seem to have them under control. Not all that different from before I put the thing on.
There.
I know there are other things we are meant to discuss, but
Mm-hmm. Long list.
given the way I see you writing, I'm pretty sure you have one for just about all of us.
Yeah, but you've got the longest list.
Fair enough. So shall we try to see what those miscreants are getting up to, or I would rather have you with us than... I know you don't want to leave his side, but
I know I have to eventually.
Just think,
Art.
if you're that uptight, a quick punch to Lachlan seems to make Ashlyn feel better, so it will do the same for you.
Also, fair point. Art. What exactly is the plan? Like, are we scrounging up the kids and then doing what? Going to find...
I'm assuming it's get the kids together, go to market, make our way back from market, rest, and then
Dark market?
services and depart. Well, if need be, it's... My concern is, from what I was led to believe coming into this town, that magic users are somewhat heavily regulated.
Yes, they are.
And I would have to go register before a board of mages to procure items in a legitimate establishment. As Dawn has apparently been speaking with Diana about, what I am wearing over my head and shoulders would be known to them in the drop of a hat. Which makes me shy bit wary of walking into a room full of mages.
I've registered here before. It's not bad, but they do keep tabs on you. But if you're concerned about being followed or knowing where exactly you're purchasing from, I suppose you do have the full 7 days that you don't need to register, which is why I've asked the thing for Anastazius to be done within 6 days.
That is my thought, and Dawn and Diana seem concerned over people recognizing this. Anyone in a underground or dark market who recognizes it will probably be more fearful of it than anyone up here.
Well, since I've already registered many years ago, if there's anything that I can find in the normal markets for you, I can buy it on your behalf.
That may be possible then.
Anastazius and I spent some time here when we were first together.
Did not know that. Well,
This is probably one of the first places we stayed.
perhaps it is time to ramble
Let's
up
find the
hill.
kids first. Yep, find the kids first, and then...
If you don't mind, let me place my hand on your shoulder as you go to walk. I'm going to send my senses into my familiars as I sent him with the children to keep tabs on him.
I'll give him my hand because I'm quite a bit taller than you. Shoulder? I don't think you can reach that high, buddy.
He's trying, not able to.
I'll hold his hand. It's fine. I'll hold his hand.
And then Morph is just going to send his senses into Impy.
Impy's traveling on the shoulder of Lachlan. It's you can see that going on right now. You can see many people walking about. You can see that they're out of the tavern and they're walking and moving. Where are you guys headed? Are you guys headed to the Yawning Portal right now to kind of scope it out before dinner time? Okay. You, Lachlan, you would know where it is, so you're able to head that way. And Muffin, you're able to see through the eyes of Impy and able to see the various like street signs and things like that are pointing you in the right direction. And you can see eventually they get to a tavern that is sporting a sign that says the Yawning Portal out front.
Seeing that and remembering what Molfin heard, pulled the senses back and looked at Callista. They went to some place called the Yawning Portal.
Of course they did. And I know for a fact Anastasia has played there, so Callista will... I know it's been at least probably like 5 years since she's last been here, but could I do like a survival check to make my way there?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. And since you went here before, I'll say you can make it with advantage.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's been at least 5 years since she's last been in here.
It's been a while, but
Yeah.
Callista, with her background and being a guide and things like that,
That's true,
she would
yeah,
probably be
yeah.
good at remembering how to get to places.
Outlander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So 19.
Yeah, you're able to lead Lachlan or Molfin's several blocks south. You guys can see Castle Waterdeep in the distance there as you're approaching the Yawning Portal. Castle Waterdeep, and then right behind Castle Waterdeep, you can see this enormous mountain that just separates the ocean from the city. And atop the mountain, you can see there's this massive stone statue of these wings outstretched. And it looks exactly like Cleo. It looks like a griffin. And it's standing there kind of at attention, like looking out towards the south, I guess it would be southeastern part of the city. Its front claws kind of, one is on the ground and the other is bent, looking up, and its wings are starting to be outstretched, kind of as if it's like overlooking the entire city. And you guys make it to a 3-story establishment known in Waterdeep as the famous Yawning Portal.
Play it cool, Lachlan. Play it cool.
Yeah. I'm good at that.
You gotta ask for Dabble.
Hey, thanks so much for the bits. We appreciate it.
Dabble.
Yeah, we better find.
Are we within about 100 feet of them? Yeah.
Probably not yet. They're in the Yawning Portal, hanging out. You guys, this place is crowded. There are patrons everywhere. A lot of them look a lot like you guys. Like, it looks like some of them are various adventuring parties and groups of adventurers, or even old retired adventurers. They're just here telling stories around a table in a tankard, just enjoying time, getting fed wonderful plates of meats and potatoes and vegetables, and the aroma in the place is just a very positive atmosphere. There's one strange thing though. There's all these weird trinkets everywhere along the room. Interesting, like, trophies hanging off the wall of creatures that are not natural. There's this one massive, it almost looks like a mosquito, but it has bat-type wings and this enormous snout on it. It's just these strange things all around. You can see the main barkeep. He looks like probably a man in his 40s or 50s. He's got really long sideburns. He's got his white shirt kind of pulled up on his sleeves, or pulled up, and he's just cleaning glasses and pouring people glasses of ale and just kind of passing them back and forth. Doesn't seem to be saying much to the group. But you can see he has this massive 2-handed greatsword displayed behind the bar.
Lachlan, go ask for Dabble.
Yeah, where is this devil? I'm looking at I think we're looking for a sun elf with
Sun elf.
skin that glows as the morning sun.
Okay, great. You guys can make perception checks if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys do notice back kind of in a corner in a booth, there is a elf that meets this description. Dressed rather nicely. Probably not noble-ish looking, but just a nice attire. A green kind of vest pulled over his shirt. He has a lute over his back. And he's got this very nice long hair. He's rather a very attractive individual. And he's kind of talking to these two individuals that are sitting at the bar, or not the bar, but in the booth. And he's being very flamboyant. Like, he's talking with his hands a lot, from what you guys can see. He looks like he's puffing his chest out at times. He's just looks like a charismatic fellow. As he's kind of
Anything
talking
on the
back and
fingers?
forth. Anything on the fingers? You do notice with your perception check, there is a ring. Very similar to the one that you guys wear.
I think that's our guy.
Should we just walk by and just sort of flash our rings and like...
Yeah, we'll be cool about it.
Lachlan, all of a sudden, you start to feel this wet sensation on your ear. It's almost like a sensation that feels like, I don't know, it's kind of like a cat's tongue at first. And Impy is licking your ear.
What are you doing?
Muffin told me to do it.
Gramps.
And it just and as soon as you say Gramps, you notice Molfin being led into the Yawning Portal by Callista, as she is
we've got
kind of
company.
pulling him.
I don't know why, but we're in trouble somehow.
I don't know why, but I'm in trouble.
Alright,
Let's go try to get this Davil before they pull us away.
Okay, yeah, let's walk by and just flash our gang sign. 7 snakes.
Wow.
Oh, 7.
So
7 snakes.
so you guys are approaching Davil?
Yep.
Okay. He's in the middle of a conversation. He looks like he's just busy talking to these individuals, just kind of wooing them a bit. And he's sitting there, and then he just, it's like kind of like he's just feeling a presence. It's like you guys just like walk and stand like right beside him, and he just looks over his shoulders. Why, hello. It's good to see you. May I?
Good to see you too.
May I help you?
We were told that you were a very interesting and fantastic character.
Well, if I do say so myself, I would believe you. Oh, excuse me. He looks at the other two and just like apologizes to the other two that he was having a conversation with. And he's, shall we find a seat?
Sure, that'd be great.
Shall we?
It's nice to meet you. I'm Davil, and he holds out his hand towards both of you. Ashlyn, nice to meet you. And he kind of holds your hand like, kind of, gently, like if you had your hand like, cupped like this, and he's like holding it just like that, and he bends down and he gives you a little kiss on the top of your hand. And you notice that he does take a look at your ring on your finger as he does that. And you...
Oh, hi, I'm Cobra Commander of the 7 Snakes.
Oh my god.
Commander of the 7 Snakes. You don't
Call me
say.
Cobra.
The
Cobra. Yeah.
The Cobra. Oh, well, I am just amazed. I'm standing in the presence of greatness right now. This is remarkable. Let's have a seat, and shall we talk over a cup of ale, or perhaps?
Sure,
and he looks at Ashley, and he's like, perhaps a fine wine.
Ale is fine with me, thank you very much.
Okay.
Fine wine goes straight
She's
to
a
my
tough
head.
one.
Brock's like, what's this guy think he is? Kind of talking under his breath. And you guys all have a seat at a round table within the Yawning Portal. As you're taking a look around, and Molfin and Callista, as you walk in, you notice this as well. This place has a main bar area, but there's also a part it's all one room, but it's almost like the bar area wraps around this enormous well in the middle of the chamber. And there is what looks to be some kind of contraption, a pulley contraption that's hooked up to this rope. And it looks like the rope just dangles down into the well. And all around, you can see that everything is centralized around this well. Like, the well must be the most important thing in the Yawning Portal, because everything is just situated around it in some way. There are 2 additional floors, and there is like it's open at the top, so people can sit at tables like around these little balcony areas and have beverages and food on these balconies, kind of looking down at the well. It's a really cool layout for a tavern. You've never seen anything like it. Well, Lachlan has probably been in here before, and Callista's been in here before, but I don't know if Molfin would have ever been here before. Not sure Ashlyn would have.
And Callista always spent it in the darkest corners of this bar, like never out by the Yawning Portal. She would just be like, nope.
Stay away from where all the action was going on. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you would see, Molfin would probably notice it.
Uh-oh. Did we lose her?
Lose you?
Oh no.
No, she's
Frozen, man.
frozen by time.
She's frozen. Somebody cast some kind of spell
Who
on
has
her.
greater restoration.
Greater resto.
Wait,
She does.
There she is. She's back. You
Okay.
you froze
Can
on
you
us.
hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
can. Yeah.
We-
okay, that was weird.
That was really weird. We lost you. You like totally froze for.
Cruella got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you all froze too, but like I can still hear you.
That's
Oh,
so.
weird.
That's weird.
Oh, I was
Does
just
Morphin
saying
would
that
notice what?
that Callista does look visibly uncomfortable, especially now that she doesn't have her cloak to just default hide in. But
Mhm.
she's
We don't
kind of like,
have a hat. Like Lachlan said, we have a hat.
No,
She has the
Diana
hat.
has a hat.
yeah, Diana has the hat.
Diana still has the hat.
Diana still
I
has
gave
the
it back
hat
to her.
But we have
Yeah.
a hat that disguises people. We should wear this hat.
on Muffin. I agree. But yeah, Callista just kind of steals herself, and I would like to do a perception check when I enter, just to make sure I don't see any faces I recognize.
Okay, sure.
Granny!
Mhm.
Even Granny's here.
No, I'm not doing 2 in one go. Not happening.
Granny,
No.
Granny's sitting at the bar. She just drank a whole bottle of elven wine.
Oh.
Damn, Granny.
Yeah, Granny.
Yeah, you can make a perception check as you take a look
Okay,
around.
okay, okay.
You don't really see anyone you recognize.
Good. I just want to be
it's-
sure. That's her defensive mode kicking in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty crowded place right now, especially as it's, kind of getting closer to dinner time. You have a feeling once dinner time rolls around until the evening, it's probably going to be slammed in here. It's going to be, people will be standing around with holding plates, it'll be that kind of mess.
Great. Okay.
But yeah, you guys notice the others sitting at a table with a new, interesting individual. Looks to be an elf with this just glistening bright skin. Beautiful skin. Beautiful flowing hair. A lute strapped to his back. Reminds you of similar qualities to Anastazius, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
he's,
Playing Wonderwall.
yeah, exactly. Yes. Taking requests for cover songs for his later performance.
He doesn't hold a candle.
Yes, that's it.
So Callista just walks forward unimpressed.
You see,
Molfen on the other side is actually going to find a small little quiet spot to sit a little ways away.
okay. Are you going to be trying to get within earshot of what's going on?
Well, you got
Yeah.
Impy.
Oh yeah, Impy's kind of listening in. Which
Yeah, but Molfen's still going to sit there. He's not going to want to cut himself off to everything else going around him.
right,
Okay.
right. Sounds good.
Especially if Callista's walking over.
Okay, excellent. So Davokani, he's looking at you guys, and he's smiling a little bit. He's got his attention mostly on Ashlyn right now, as he's talking. But he still kind of glances over at you, Lachlan, knowing that you have a title and some position within, as the leader, the Cobra of the Seven Snakes. So what brings you to Waterdeep?
Oh, stuff. Business.
Business.
Business. Yeah. Ashlyn is clearly not charismatic. We had a friend who is now dead, so we had to take care of that, and now we're here for pleasure, business and pleasure.
Oh, you picked. There was no finer city for both business and pleasure.
Yeah, I've never been in a city like this before. I don't think I've been in many cities.
Oh,
I think I've been in 2 cities.
that's fantastic. That just gives me so much more of a reason to show you around.
Okay.
Oh,
Lachlan, where are we going?
oh. So Cobra, I've been meaning to ask you what business is it that you have here in Waterdeep?
Just passing through. We heard that you were the person to talk to, the person to check in with. They told us at the gate.
Lachlan and Ashlyn, make an insight check for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, my passive insight's really high.
Whoa! Whoa!
So insane.
Ashlyn, you can tell. Actually, Lachlan, you could probably tell this too, even though you probably rolled right on the level. Right on the level. He's trying to feel you guys out a little bit. Like, he's trying not to be too upfront about it, but he's trying to figure out exactly, he does see that you are both wearing rings, but he's still, I don't know, maybe questioning. It's almost like it's feeling like, whose side are you on, kind of deal. And Ashlyn, you can tell, like, he's definitely pretty attracted to you. With your 29 insight roll.
Ashlyn doesn't know what to do with this kind of stuff.
But you're not sure.
Too much information.
but you can tell this individual with this kind of charisma. You don't know if he might do this with a lot of women.
That's what I figured.
You're not really sure. He could be the player type.
So, yeah, we're in town for like a week, and like, we're just gonna see the sights, and one of the sights was this tavern. I've never seen a well in a tavern. That's pretty cool.
Oh, my dear, the well. Have you heard any of the stories?
No, Lachlan hasn't told me any stories.
Lachlan, the cobra.
The cobra.
Oh, yes.
Do I hear him address Lachlan as the Cobra?
Yes, you do. You all hear it.
The cobra is very
Wolfen starts
secretive
laughing.
and hasn't told me much about this city.
Cobra, huh?
Impy starts laughing.
Who it is?
Is that a rat laughing on your shoulder?
No, I flick it off.
Impy goes flying onto the floor.
No, that was a random rat. Ew.
No, where did that
Yeah.
go?
That was like, how did that get in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe someone should step on it.
Maybe it crawled up through the well.
Yeah.
What is the Cobra up to then?
Yeah, I would like to know. What is the cobra up to?
Oh, well, and so I see Callista here now.
I'm standing right behind the two of you.
And Callista's not wearing her cloak anymore. Like, she's all... There's no hood over her face or anything. Like, she's just...
Callista!
It's like when you call your teacher mom.
Yeah.
Brock's like, be cool, be cool.
We were talking about shoes before, and we said that sensible shoes are good.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
We're at the famous Yawning Portal that I haven't
see
seen
that.
yet.
Making some friends.
I haven't seen the Yawning Portal
I look
yet.
at the.
And Davil stands up. He's like, and who is this that I'm speaking to? And he stands up and he's looking at you with a smile.
She's a legend.
She's a legend.
What's your name?
What's my name?
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm saying it right. It is Davil, right? Is that what I said? Okay. So, it's Davil, and he holds out his hand kind of elegantly towards you.
Close.
Do I see the ring?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
So he's holding out his opposite hand. We'll see. Since you're looking.
Okay.
Molfen is watching Callista very carefully.
So
He's
we're
not quite sure of
seeing
her
the sights,
state of mind yet.
and we're just
Oh, yeah,
around
you
with
see it.
some stuff and
We're between
supplies.
quests.
Yeah, we're adventurers. We're looking for some supplies and things to do. I heard there was a fight club.
Oh yeah.
Bloody Fist.
Oh yeah, the bloody fist. Yeah.
Yeah. Lachlan and I are gonna enter.
Really?
Cobra!
You know, some of the finest fighters in Waterdeep go to the Bloody Fist. You got to be pretty confident in yourself. Tag team.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
That must be something new. I've never heard of it.
Well, we'll pitch it. It's a workshop thing. So yeah, so Callista meet Dabble, Dabble meet Callista. This is not awkward in the slightest. Where's the beer? I'm looking for the beer.
You can see the bartender. He's just constantly fixing drinks up at the bar. If you wanted to approach, you could go up and.
Can I have a lot of beers?
A lot of beers.
Like enough to fill like 2 trays.
2 trays. Yeah. Sure. Just give me a moment. And he,
Can I have a shot of the hard stuff?
how
I
hard?
got 2.
No, you're not there.
1 shot of the hard stuff. Okay, hard stuff. Sure, I can make it happen.
Okay.
So he goes back and he's starting to get things ready as you turn around from the bar, lean up against the bar, and see the conversation still taking place on the other end.
Dabble.
Yes, Cobra?
Have you been tracking this whole thing that's happening in the world?
The whole thing that's happening in the world. The
Giants.
The giants.
Are in control?
Yeah, they are going kind of mad, aren't they? It's been... we didn't...
What's your take?
Well, I'm not really 100% sure. I haven't heard too much on it, other than we did have a castle scare here in Waterdeep a few weeks back. It seemed that a cloud giant castle had slowly made its way across the skyline. It's headed northward. Everybody was frightened. Yeah, man, everybody thought that the castle was going to sprout attack against Waterdeep. That would be pretty bold of them.
Would be. Are we talking a proper castle? Maybe more of a tower, or a?
It was a large castle, not just a tower. Probably some type of stronghold, I would assume. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see.
Oh, I can imagine. Must be magnificent. What about, if someone were going to be in town for a while, anything interesting going on?
Well, I do. And he kind of, it looks like he's hesitant to tell you something at first, but then he starts to come through. I've been looking into a few things. There's been a lot of just infighting going on between not only the Zentarum, but also just all-out street brawls have been occurring between
Ashley don't like those.
Zentarum and members of the Xanathar Guild. It's been getting kind of out of hand recently.
Really?
Yes.
The Xanathar Guild, you say, huh?
Yeah, and we're trying to find out what's causing the aggression from our side. Because, you see, most of the time, we don't initiate this sort of thing.
Yeah, we like to,
Yeah.
have control over.
Callista audibly scoffs.
As she does that, he looks up at her. Excuse you. And then he looks back down at Lachlan. and he's like, yeah, it's strange. It's blood has been spilled on both sides, but we're trying to figure out what's going on. We're part of the good guys. We're trying to keep the peace.
That's what we do.
We're just not 100% sure what's happening.
Well, maybe the 7 snakes will go on the scene on this one. Sort it out.
So,
really?
you keep speaking of these 7 snakes. Please, you must tell me more, Cobra.
Yeah, tell us more, Cobra.
I must know of these 7 snakes. What stories do you have for me? I would like to write a song, or perhaps even make some poetry about them that I can share with some of the members of the faction here in Waterdeep.
Well, there aren't 7 of us yet, so let me get back to you on that part of it. Ashlyn, how many snakes are we? 3?
Ashland ordered 2 hard stops by now and has slammed back both.
Ashland,
and is coming over with the trays of beer.
yeah, Ashland has 2
That's
trays. Brock kind of puffs his chest out confidently and shows his ring.
This guy's in.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in. Mm-hmm.
Here's the ale. Uncle Muffin, do you want one? Don't pretend like we can't see you with that shrouded face there. Just come over
called
to
out.
Wolfen sitting there, shroud on, staff of power leaning on it like this, just listening like...
Do you want to be ale? Can you even drink with that thing on? Do you have to drink?
Molfen just sort of look at Callista for a minute.
Like waterboard himself.
I'm just gonna grab an ale and put it in front of Molfen.
Yeah, that's looks natural.
Molfen,
Yeah.
you're able to kind of like lift up the shroud and able to drink and eat. Like,
You brought this on yourself, Molfen. And I walk back over to Ashlyn and Lachlan.
Oh yeah, there are.
Molfen's walking up to the bar.
as he's trying to drink, like parts of the shroud like fall into the beer mug and gets soaked up with some ale.
Wash it.
Oh.
You can't.
Like his
That's
mustache.
that's
Prestidigitation?
that's part of the negative effects of the shroud. it's always smells
Just
bad.
moldy.
Yeah, it's-
You
Ooh,
bathe
yeah.
in the river with it. It smells fresh.
Anyway, so we just got back from an adventure. Didn't we?
Big one.
Cobra.
We certainly did.
I know.
And we can't take all the credit. We do have powerful allies, and I sort of gesture up at Callista behind me, but they say we took on a lich.
You took on a lich. The 7 snakes, with the help of Callista, you say, destroyed a lich. Wow, that is amazing. You see him reach into his vest and he pulls out this pad and quill and he starts to write down this. He starts to jot some notes down. He's writing Cobra, 7 snakes, destroyed a lich, and writing all your names: Lachlan, Ashlyn, Callista. And he heard you guys saying Molfen, so he writes Molfen down too.
If you're going to, put down Anastazius.
Yes.
Oh.
Anastazius.
And
A-N-A.
wait a second.
Stages.
Wait a second. Anastazius.
I figured.
I've heard that name before.
have.
Yeah, rather stunning individual he was. Where is he?
He fell to the lich.
Oh.
When you write this glorious story of yours, don't forget to include the real shit. He fell.
Yes, I'm sorry to hear of that. You know, I did look up to him.
That's nice to hear. He was very admirable.
I did too. He was a lot taller than me.
And admirable.
So, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I did get a little bit of a heads up that someone new, wearing some rings, was headed into town. But
What?
Probably from the gatekeeper.
yeah, she did let me know. We have some inside information, and
Understandable.
she's looking at you guys, or he's looking at you, and he's basically. You can see that he's kind of come to terms, and he comes to a realization that you guys don't seem to be much of a threat. He was afraid that maybe you were Zenturum that's been corrupted, or were lured to the city by people who have, different outlook on what the Zenturum is. But as this conversation kind of takes place, and he's jotting down these notes, and he seems to believe you guys when it comes to your story about the Lich and everything. And now that you brought up the name Anastazius, he recognizes that name. he's kind of putting connections together, and you can see him kind of like ease his posture a little bit. He's still flamboyant, but he's not as kind of like, making a show of all his expressions and stuff like that.
You seem like you have good connections, right?
I have great connections, my dear.
Then,
What connections
if
do
you
you
looked up
need?
to Anastazius, spread the word about his funeral in 6 days.
6 days. I can definitely do that. Are they planning an elaborate procession? I would assume that they would for someone.
Nothing less.
Great. I will be there with some flower petals as well.
Bring your friends.
I will. I'll let them know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be pleased to attend. Anastazius meant a lot to a lot of people. It didn't matter who you were, who you worked for, really. Anastazius was a big deal. I can only hope to make music and tell stories in ways that he could.
Aw.
And maybe you make sure he stays a big deal.
I can do that. And he kind of pats his lute on his back a little bit. Everybody, Lachlan pulls up a glass to do a little cheers. Everybody like clinks glasses, and you guys do like a little toast to Anastazius right there. But yeah, he seems to kind of like lean back and just enjoy some small talk with you. Is there anything in particular you guys want to know, or just enjoy some drinks and peanuts?
Has he given us any additional details on this? The aggression, the street brawls.
Yeah, the fighting.
Other than they're still trying to figure out what is going on.
Gotcha.
It's not really contained to any one spot of the city, although the dock ward seems to have a lot more of this going on, just because the security is down at the dock ward. It's kind of like the area of town where you don't want to be in the middle of the night. He tells you that most of the street lights and lanterns, the magical lanterns, have been kind of destroyed, so there's not a lot of light there in the evening. The alleys are, filled with trash, and the Dung Sweepers Guild doesn't go down there as often at night, and it kind of makes it not a very nice place to visit.
Okay. We will not go there at night.
But he also lets you know that if you guys look at the map on your screen where it says Dock Ward,
Yeah.
basically right in the middle of the O in Dock is where the Bloody Fist is located.
Oh,
So it's not going to be as a nice of establishment, obviously, as the other inns and taverns that you've been in. But
well, that's fine.
Well, maybe we go kill two birds with one stone. Get you in some fights and see if we can find anything out.
What do you want to find out, Cobra?
I want to find out more about this infighting going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zen's fighting Zent is weird, right?
Well, I think they're fighting this same Xanathar guy that the boss is not getting along with. It's an interesting web of conflict.
Yeah.
And Dabble kind of leans forward to you when you say Xanathar. I do know a way in. Into the Xanathar Guild's main hideout.
Oh.
Whoa.
And I do know there's actually two ways in. The first is actually through the Port of Shadow.
The Port of Shadow.
Yes, it's another name for the city of Skullport. There is an establishment there where apparently a tiefling woman, I believe, who works for Xanathar, has a secret tunnel that actually leads into his lair. because the lair is actually under Skullport.
I grabbed Impy. You hear that, Gramps?
Wolf's gonna take the staff and just wrap the back of Lachlan's head.
Oh, hey.
Now, player knowledge and character knowledge. You guys, like Lachlan, Molfin, you guys would probably have a hunch of what Xanathar is based on your experience. Callista may not know
I don't think
what
so.
Xanathar is.
Didn't Aldok tell us what Xanathar was?
Yeah, those of you that were present, you got the
I know that there's
idea.
another beholder in the city. I don't know if that's connected to Xanathar. I know that the Xanathar Guild has like the eye thing, but other than that, I don't think she would even make that connection.
Okay, we'll fill you in
No,
later.
she didn't spend that much time in Waterdeep.
Right.
It was only a few weeks. So she probably wouldn't.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, MG. There is another way that he would tell you, but I forget, and my book is on my bookshelf back there.
Fair enough. We'll save it. We'll figure it out later. Gotcha.
He'll tell us over break. It's okay.
Because I was over here looking for my other book, and I was like, I thought I put it over here, and it is not here. So.
Okay, noted.
Oh wait, no, it is here. There it is. It's just tucked under 3 more books. Oh, the struggles of being a dungeon master. How many books can you own, right? Seriously.
So many books.
How many books
All
do
the
you have in
books.
front of you at the same time?
All the books.
1, 2, 3.
That's a little bit more limited.
Well, if we were actually playing Storm King's Thunder, I'd only have like 3 or 4.
We wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah. How about that Cloud Castle, guys?
That's right.
Yeah.
Cloud Castle.
That's the DM be like, hey, look, there's Storm King's Thunder, follow it.
No, look, the plot.
It's like, hey,
As it just passes over.
hey, please help me not have to prepare so many books.
Speaking of that, was a couple of. While you're looking that up, does Molfin have a blip where that that castle in the sky is?
Yeah, he does. He always knows where it is. The one.
Why?
Does it sound like it was heading? Is it back up north? Does it sound like this is?
It's
Castle?
the one you're looking for is slowly moving from the Evermoors to the coast, but it's a very slow movement, like very
it's
slow.
still way off in the east.
It's still way
So
off in the east. Yeah,
There's more than one.
yeah. There's from what you guys can tell, you saw one over Neverwinter when you guys were there. Of course, you had experience with Zetharos in his tower, and there's another what appears to be large cloud castle fortress that's above the Evermoors that Molfin knows exactly where it is because of the imbued magical GPS from the Eye of the Allfather.
I mean, Molfin could be leading us right there, right now, but
He needs magical items. Supplies. From the deep underbelly of the city, of course.
Okay, here it is.
has Molfin ever done anything that's got this party into trouble? I mean, come on, really?
Never.
I'm just getting deadpan silence there.
Well, Michael's looking this up.
Yeah.
Molfin is just up at the bar getting the special, whatever.
Uh-oh. The whatever's
was giving
green.
Whatever's green and good.
Yeah, there is a. Davil tells you, Lachlan, that there is a frequent customer of the Yawning Portal. Her name is Yagra Stonefist. She is a half-orc member of the Zentrum. And she recently learned about a back door to the Beholder's Lair from a drunken blabbermouth that had ties to the Xanathar Guild. And she may be able to lead you. It's there's a secret staircase in the sewers of the castle ward.
Ooh.
And she'd be able to lead you there, and Davil basically tells you it's a much safer route than trying to travel through Undermountain or Skullport itself.
Gotcha.
We'll probably do that.
Assuming we wanted to go right into the lair of
Yes, assuming
yeah,
that you did.
If the boss is waiting to get a magic eye before we do it, I'm kind of intimidated myself.
Let's not do that.
But we'll keep it. We'll keep it in the back backlog here.
Back in there, right, Cobra?
Yep. It's right here. It's... Actually, you need to think of your code name too.
Okay, does it have to be snake related?
We probably should. It'd be thematic. I don't know.
Okay.
Brock's like, I totally want to be Viper.
Oh, I like it. Viper.
I want to. Can I be Viper?
Yeah.
Ashlyn, do you vote yes too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Brock's like super excited. It's like.
Now I gotta Google snakes.
What's a Google?
Ooh.
Now I'm gonna think of the zoo.
Brock's like Copperhead, or
The asp. The
Rattler.
Python.
the Python. Oh, yes.
Python.
Or because you do all that stuff with your fist, and maybe you put people in headlocks like a constrictor. The constrictor.
No, that sounds good.
And he starts like doing all these hand motions.
Oh yeah, the anaconda.
Anaconda.
I'm just gonna Google something and I'll...
We've got time. We've
Yeah.
got time. We
Yeah,
still have to
we got
collect
time.
all the snakes.
Garden snake.
Woo!
So cute.
That
What's
could be a boa.
boa? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real
Okay,
good
I'll
one.
be
Yeah,
boa.
we have time. We have time.
Okay.
Someday there will be 7.
I feel like we're trying to rename the Spice Girls here.
Exactly what's happening right now. That's the worst one.
Oh, great. So you guys are just hanging out, having some beverages. Are you guys
What
going?
time of day is it, by the way?
It's probably a short time before dinner. I mean, if you waited probably another 30 minutes, perhaps Tren and the rest of his crew will be here. But you do have time if you wanted to mosey somewhere else, or
How far away am I from, like, a shopping district?
there are shops basically everywhere throughout Waterdeep, spread all around. The trades ward is going to have most of your shops and things like that.
A little out of the way.
Let's see.
I'm looking for armor.
Me too.
Like leathers.
Mhm.
Because, of course, I can't wear metal.
There actually was a place.
I'm really invested in this snake naming thing now.
Oh, God.
That's awesome. I love that idea. I would say you'd be able to find a shop no problem within the trades ward. You do pass a few. There's also a few weapons places. One place is called Whistling Blades.
Would there be a place that does sell magical armor or magical vestments like Molfin? Molfin, aren't you looking for anything magical?
My dear, I am always looking for magical items.
Callista would probably know that there are a couple places that have magical items, but it's rarity that they do because of just how rare this type of stuff is. But Waterdeep being so big does get some things in. So like a weapon store might have 2 magical weapons or something like hanging up on the special shelf that not the normal people just can't afford.
Right.
Unless they're of noble descent or something like that can actually afford that kind of.
Right. Yeah.
But most of them, they usually only carry like 1 or 2, and
Okay.
it is illegal to sell anything that is magical, like weapons like that, if you are not a registered individual of the city.
Would they have, like, magical, like she was saying, what about the armors?
The armors, they would probably have some types of
few?
magic
Yeah.
armor. It's going to be
Okay.
relatively simple.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, I'll go look for that, I guess, first.
yeah.
Would the
And
black
look for-
market be a safer bet to find things like that?
The black market would probably have more of those types of things. They're going to have, the way the market is here on the surface for magic items, it's rather limited, and most of the stuff is not going to be shady because of, the store owners are very regulated within the not the thieves, but the guilds and things have a lot of control over what's going on in the city, and they regulate that kind of stuff like crazy. Like, you're not going to just find a shroud of souls on the shelf at your local armor store. If it has any kind of shady qualities to it at all, they're gonna take it and they're gonna put it somewhere where they can do research on it and figure out what's going on. Where black market, not so much. They might.
Where is the place they take the shady stuff to?
You're not 100% sure.
Because Callista's looking to trade her billowing cloak, which is
Okay.
magical. So she's looking for
Okay.
armor that could be an equivalent.
Okay. Yeah, so you could easily make your way to a place in Waterdeep to do that. Let me get
Something
my...
in Taipan. That's it. It's so cool. So
That's
dumb.
awesome.
Taipan?
Yep.
Okay. So you're looking for, like, just leather armor? Is that what you were saying you were looking for?
I like studded leather or something enchanted that I could trade, even if I have to pay some, but trade part of my cloak.
Did your cloak give you a +1 to your AC?
I don't think so.
I think it just had
it
those
gave
extra
me-
effects.
Yeah, it gave me the push and stuff.
I would say
It
probably...
gave me disadvantage on any non-magical ranged attacks.
Gotcha. Which we probably weren't...
I don't think we even.
I don't think we
I
ever
don't
did
think we
that.
did that.
Yeah, we...
And I don't think I was ever really shot at by arrows very often, and
I know,
if we
I
did, we
I don't
did
think...
it.
Yeah, I don't think you were.
So.
Or if
Yeah.
she was, she was a cat or a dog.
Yeah,
or
exactly,
elephant or a
exactly.
goose.
I'm sure you could...
Or a geese.
You could probably trade that. You could probably trade that at a shop for a. I would say like +1 studded leather. You could probably easily find. That gives you the bonus to
Yeah.
AC that you were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody would probably trade you straight up that.
Okay.
Nice.
If I could-
defense.
Do they have a +2 that I could pay the difference?
They don't have a +2. They're
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it would just be +1.
Gotcha. Okay, I will do that.
What about other rare items?
What exactly would you be looking for?
Bracers of defense.
Bracers are rare.
Yes.
Let's see. You I would say you probably look at the same place that Callista did. They don't have any at this establishment, but they tell you that there is a place up in the North Ward. Apparently, long ago, when these walking statues were animated, one of them, called the Sword Maiden, which is a female knight, accidentally crushed a bunch of buildings within the city. And when these giant statues deactivated, the people of those communities were very unhappy with the Sword Maiden, and basically they destroyed it. And its head is now in the North Ward, and there is apparently a store inside the head.
Okay.
And they kind of give you just... You should probably check there.
Okay, thank you.
Molphin, Lachlan, anything you guys would be?
Wolfman would be looking for any sort of a store that sells like spell scrolls.
Okay. It's kind of funny. You get the same directions that Ashlyn gets from stopping at multiple places. You do see that there are several bookstores, and the biggest book that they have for sale right now is called Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It seems everyone knows that one.
How much for a copy? I think, what would be a reasonable price for a book in the D&D land?
Like $49.99.
$49.99. Yeah, that's right. Probably say what, maybe 5 silver, 4 silver.
Yeah, something like that.
Be that around there.
Okay.
That's
Wolfen will fling over 5 silver and walk out with a copy as he's heading to find a store in the head.
Oh yeah. The bookstore that you stop at on the corner also has signs in the window. It says I guess it's advertising that Volo himself will be there to do a book signing in about 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Seems Volo is making his way around to most of the bookstores in the city and meeting with his fans and signing his material.
If I read, it would be exciting, I guess.
So, Mulfin and Matthew, just as a rule of thumb, you now have Volo's Guide to Monsters in game.
Nice.
Now, you don't see the monster stat blocks, but you see the information about certain creatures within Volo's Guide to Monsters because it's written by Volo.
That's
This
great.
one has a strength of 17.
What does that mean?
Hit him one more time, Lachlan. He only has 10 more hit points.
Strength of 17 means you can throw a Lachlan 33.5 feet.
Nice.
And as Mulfin walks out with his copy of Volo's Guide to Monsters, as he's looking through the book, seeing some of the pictures that Volo has sketched inside of the book, it looks nicely done. It's a well-published book, published right here in Waterdeep. And we're going to use this opportunity to take our break for the evening, as the party's kind of just looking around for some things, having a fun time in Waterdeep right now. And we're going to take a break. We'll be back within 5 to 7 minutes. So if you guys will stick around, we'll be here for you soon. So we'll be right back.
It'll be.
Welcome back, everybody. Good evening, and welcome back to Storm King's Thunder, episode 66, right here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master for the evening. Our party is hanging out in Waterdeep, and they are enjoying the city of Splendors. Ashlyn, you said you were headed back to the Yawning Portal to hang out with Lachlan.
There, and so are the rest of Lachlan's friends.
Yeah, it seems like all of Lachlan's friends have a crush on Ashlyn right now. So it's kind of.
And Molfin's heading back as well. He doesn't want the kids left alone too long.
Okay, gotcha. Callista, would you have headed back to the Yawning Portal as well after trading for your armor and things? Yep.
Yep, totally in the same boat as Melvin. Sorry, I've got my mouth full.
Callista stopped at like a stand that was selling some food, and she's just like she's munching away as she heads back. She couldn't wait on dinner. She was just like, I'm headed that way. So
Molfin's going straight back to the bar, getting another whatever's hard,
okay,
whatever's green.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, I basically just Callista's thought was they're probably gonna get me into something I don't want to be in, so I might as well armor up.
And as this bartender slides a glass of ale over towards you, Molfin, he's like, "Huh, that headgear seems interesting."
No more so than the rest of me.
He smiles and laughs. Adventurer, huh?
Librarian.
Make a deception check.
It's not a deception. It's what he was doing beforehand.
Oh yeah, technically he was a librarian, right? Maybe
Former librarian.
a former librarian.
Oh wow!
Hey, that's a high roll for Molfin.
That's actually a really high roll for Molfin. He smiles at you. It's like he looks over. He kind of casts a glance over towards the well. It's been a little while since we've had anybody try. Sent a group down a few days back, but hadn't seen or heard anything from them.
I heard there was a way to get to the city under the city through that entranceway.
Oh, yeah, Port of Shadow. Yeah, you can get there through there. It might take a little while, but you can get there.
Was that Skullport? Sorry, out of character.
What's that?
That's Skullport, right?
Yeah,
City
yeah.
of Shadow.
Port of Shadow is what they call it.
Port of Shadow.
Yep. Sculp is another name for Skullport, yes.
Okay, I just don't want to get confused.
Yeah, sure.
So, how much is it worth to you for me to get someone to go down there?
Oh, it's worth absolutely nothing to me. I care less.
Why do people go down there?
Or Ashlyn, are you at the bar, like, asking?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know. Lachlan, what's in that
We shall
well?
see. There's a group of young foolhardy individuals.
Darkness.
Expected any time now. I'm sure someone will do something foolish.
Lachlan, do you notice a trend and a few individuals start walking in? Tren, the familiar a tall human male with curly long hair that just seems to go just down about his chin. Like I said before, attractive but dirty. He's wearing like a black, almost long black trench coat that kind of comes down to almost his feet. And behind him is a tiefling with long, dark black hair and really red skin. The horns just kind of protrude upwards, these two large black horns that protrude almost straight upwards on his face. He also has an elaborate coat on, and it seems like there's like layers and layers of clothing on underneath. Like it just seems like he's like puffed out. And then another individual walks behind. It looks like a halfling, but an extremely hairy halfling. Like, he's got an enormous beard. He's got a thick, like, almost afro going on his head. He's got hair, like, just growing off the back of his neck. And he's wearing, like, these simple common clothes as he walks in. He's got, like, a belt and a couple pouches on. And they all look, you know... The tiefling does not have a very good expression on his face. And the other one has, the halfling himself kind of has this, his lower jaw kind of sticks out more than his upper jaw. It's just like giving that like scowl as he walks in almost. And and Tren, you know, looks over his way. He notices you and kind of gives you the wave from across the bar. And,
Fallen Riser!
they both kind of look at you, and Folan kind of smirks just a little bit. His tiefling face, you know, you can see that little smirk. Riser just looks like he scowls at you.
I do like I pretend to like shoot Folan with an arrow as I see him, just like the hand, you know, the air bow.
As the arrow goes flying at him, you watch him reach up and like grab a fake arrow out of the air. And they all just kind of like rush up to you. Tren, you know, does the familiar handshake that you guys are used to. Yep. And they both kind of do the same thing. Fallen kind of just gives you a quick like the quick bro hug where he kind of just bumps you. And and Riser just kind of looks and scowls at you. And then just goes right back at you.
Oh, are you guys a sight for sore eyes?
Right.
So your crew?
Yeah, Ashlyn. This is the crew, guys. It's Ashlyn.
Hey, crew. I'll get you more beer.
Folan seems to look at you and he smirks a little bit. You bailed.
I don't know if I'd call it bailing. I got pulled away.
Pulled away from what? We had something good going.
We did. It's not over. It's not over, man. I just had to go take a break and do some things.
I need a
We're
beverage.
doing big things, man. I think.
I come back with some beverages.
he grabs the tiefling grabs one off of the tray and just starts kind of chugging it. Just kind of stands there, kind of looking at all of you. Tren kind of looking around. Did everybody get food? Are we ordering, or what's going on?
Yeah, are we ordering? What's going on?
Yeah, as Callista walks in with some kind of food that she picked up on the way. So you guys just take a moment. Lachlan, it seems like the other guys are just kind of catching up a little bit. Folan doesn't say much to you at all. He's not a talker. He just kind of sits down and looks like he's just taking everything in. And Riser is a talker, but he seems to get agitated very easily by everything. Even if you're trying to be sarcastic with him, he almost takes everything personally. And you're really used to that from him. You know to push him a little bit, but you know not to push him too much. You know where the line is.
He trained me to deal with certain people, you know?
Right.
Wow.
You're right. That makes the full circle. It makes perfect sense.
Wow.
I wanna show folk the oat bow.
He looks at it almost with amazement as you pull this out. He's like,
I've been up to big things, my friend.
where did you get this?
I'm an adventurer now, Folan.
An adventurer.
An adventurer.
He's just looking at this well-crafted bow, and he just can't believe it. Well, I must say it's a little short for me. It seems to fit your stature.
Just right for me, and it packs a punch. I'm telling you, Folan, there's more to do around here than just, you know, looting mansions. I mean, there's...
You looting?
Did I say that out loud?
He's King Cobra, and he fought a lich.
Fold's like, it's not my job to do the looting.
But
It's my
You're
job.
good at it,
It's my job to make sure you get into there safe. And, if somebody goes chasing around, an arrow through the leg stops him sure-footed, right?
No one's better than you, my friend. It's so weird to see you guys again.
And Riser's like, tell me about it.
Old friends and new friends in the same place.
He's got like this big sandwich that he's eaten, and it's just like he's stuffing his face right now, just devouring food. It's like pouring off of his halfling beard. The hairiest halfling you've ever seen in your life, probably.
That's gross and impressive at the same time.
But yeah, they're just enjoying food, enjoying kind of hanging out with Lachlan again, just seeing you. You guys see Davil still here. He's kind of making his way about the tavern. There's a lot of just hustle and bustle going on as dinner time approaches. A lot of the wait staff is just bringing all these drinks and food out to several different people. Eventually, there's
Why is this place called the Yawning Portal, guys? I'm new here. No?
Tren just looks at Lachlan and is like, you want to take this one?
How much would I know about the Yawning Portal?
You probably know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know a good bit about it.
Well, actually, there's a portal and it's yawning open, and apparently there's all kinds of dungeon under here. A lot of people go down trying to find fame and fortune and riches, and they don't come back up.
We should do that.
Yeah, it is kind of our scene, isn't it?
That's cool.
Molfin,
No.
Molfin, you would actually have read some books about this. You wouldn't necessarily know about the Yawning Portal, but you would know the stories of Under Mountain, on how this was a dungeon complex that was started as, the dwarves kind of carved some things out, the drow kind of carved some things out under mountain, and then this individual named Hallister Blackcloak came along and basically took over the place and just enchanted the crap out of this place. And now just adventurers come in and they want to just go down and delve in what you know from reading your books is probably the deepest, most elaborate dungeon in the history of all of Faerun.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't.
Don't do that to me, MG. Next week we'll have a new title for our stream.
Can we not?
Yeah, guys, maybe we should take the shortcut down to that the Skullport,
Okay.
Yeah. You guys,
Exciting.
there is a little commotion that starts to sprout out within the bar area as someone. It looks like a drunk human is standing on the edge of the well. And it's like, you don't believe I can do this, but I shall return in no time. And he takes a glass and he just shatters it down on the ground. And it goes, some of the ale kind of just splatters up onto some of the onlookers. It looks like he's being really cocky and confident right now. He's got a couple of his buttons on his shirt kind of undone, and he has a sheathed sword to his side. And it looks like he's reaching into a pouch, and he produces a golden dragon coin from his pouch. Durnan! How's about you drop me down the well? And he flicks the coin up, and it lands and bounces off the bar once, and then lands into Durnan's hands, the barkeep behind there. It's like, he smiles a little bit. Looks like we got a taker, everyone. This is great. And he starts making his way over to the pulley system. And this individual kind of just reaches out to the rope and hangs onto the rope. And as it does, it kind of just starts to swing around the edge of the, as the rope kind of just is loose there. So he's like moving around. He's like looking at all these people and saying, go ahead, place your bets.
Place your bets if he comes back up?
I'll bet against them.
Lachlan!
What?
He shouts over towards you, Lachlan. He's like, don't even do it! I'm going to prove all you turkeys wrong. This
You're an idiot.
here dungeon, it's probably just a mere couple of rooms. Ain't
Don't by himself.
nothing more down there than a few goblins.
I'm having a moral dilemma.
Yeah, Ashlyn, that guy's definitely gonna die.
Molfin's gonna look over at the bartender. What are the odds and how long?
Well, he looks at you with that attitude. 3 minutes.
Before he's dead.
Do they get to come back up?
Either dead or trying to toss gold coins back up for me to raise them back.
So they can come back up.
Molfin looks down. How far down does it go?
It looks about, you can see up to 120 feet.
No, I think I can only see 60.
It just descends into darkness. You can't see the end of it. There's just like this awkward, cold, billowing kind of just this gentle breeze that kind of rises up from the well as you take a look from underneath it. Hey! And you see the guy as you're looking closer at the well. He's like swinging on the rope. You want to come too? Or are you going to just sit there and hide behind that mask of yours?
Oh no! Oh no!
He like swings back towards you a couple feet and then back as he's just like dangling.
Do you think if I javelin him, it'll keep him from going down and...
Probably not.
Oh my god.
This well is pretty massive.
Callista, the group probably can see this easily. As this person is saying this, Molfin's hand starts rubbing the top of the staff.
Oh no! Illegal use of magic.
And I go walk over to Molten and put my hand on his shoulder immediately.
Molfin, you feel a gentle hand on your shoulder.
I was
Not
really going to see
here.
if there were any takers for a
Yeah.
100 platinum bet.
Do you want him to die actively? You don't care. Oh my god.
And all of a sudden, the rope starts to lower, and you hear him cheer. He's like, "Ha ha! It is about time!" And he's just moving back and forth. And he looks up at Callista, seeing her standing beside Molfin. "How about you, Missy?"
You wish.
And he keeps on descending down and descending down. Durnan's just like,
Go down.
you can see all people on the high rises and balconies are just like cheering as he's being descended down.
Isn't this suicide, Lachlan?
This is normal.
I'll just be right back. It starts to echo a little bit from down in the well.
This is normal?
We're not gonna see him again.
I'm
Yeah.
clearly not cut out for this city life.
And eventually the rope stops going down and you don't hear anything else from... It's almost like...
No growls, no screams.
No growls, no screams. Almost seems like just the tavern life just goes back to normal. It's like it just had that hustle and bustle for a moment as somebody descended. And then it just continues to carry on. Food's being delivered to different tables. People are enjoying stories and chatting with friends. Riser kind of looks over at you, Lachlan, thinking, he doesn't stand a chance.
Not a chance. If I had
Where-
money, I would bet. Whew.
Lachlan, where are we staying the night?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Tren looks at you and he's like, they have rooms here.
Alright. You wanna stay here?
We could do that. I could go home. I wonder.
Could go home.
Maybe spend some time with the family.
I'll go up to the bartender and ask for a room.
Yeah. There are rooms available. So how many do you need?
Callista does not want to stay here. She wants to stay somewhere quieter, not here.
Will Molfin stay here?
Callista, you want to stay with my family?
Not sure
Molfin,
that's
you wanna stay
quieter.
here?
Quiet. You can meet my mom and my pops.
His mom and pops are pretty nice.
You
You'll
want
like
me to meet your parents and tell them what you've been up to and what shit you've been doing?
Oh,
Okay, sure, let's go.
Let's hold off on that one for the time
You
being.
offer.
Offer rescinded.
You,
Also canon for Lachlan.
Ashlyn, you were given the keys to room number 45.
I'll say Trent, room number 45. Muffin, let's go to the head. And I'll leave.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently I'm following Ashlyn off.
Okay.
Getting close to the deal with Lachlan.
Yep.
Really?
His great grandson as he gets
Yep.
taken to the portal.
All right. So Ashlyn and Muffin are headed out.
Yeah, to
Apparently.
Okay.
So I get summoned
All right.
the maidens, to the
Maiden's Head.
Oh,
Oh,
is Lachlan still hanging out with his friends?
yeah. Lachlan's just hanging out. He's catching up. You know,
Okay,
just
Callista's following. She's not hanging out with
Okay.
us.
Okay.
No,
The
she doesn't
bros.
need to hear Lachlan's ego boost even more. She's saw enough.
so. As you guys,
Rescinded his offer, so she's going with Lachlan.
you guys had a nice meal. You guys had some drinks. You guys are on your way. The North Ward is pretty far away, so it's going to take you a little bit of
Oh,
time.
it is?
Yeah.
Muffin
Oh.
Don't they have taxis?
They do. They do have carriages. You could take a carriage.
We could take a carriage and cut time.
There's actually these interesting carriages. They have. I don't have the name of them in front of me right now, but they have. It's kind of like if you imagine those double decker buses. They have carriages like that in Waterdeep, where
That's cool.
you have seats in the bottom and seats in the top, and it has about 2 to 4 horses that pull it. It's pretty interesting, and they mainly stick to the main roads, but you can definitely pay. I think it's like a silver or something like that
Yeah, something like
to get you kind of around the city. So you guys would be able to do that if you'd like to
Yep.
take one of those.
Before
Yep.
we leave, Mulfin's going to drop 5 platinum to the bartender to take care of Lachlan and his little group's food and drinks for the evening.
Oh, he smiles at you and he's like, "No problem, I got it."
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Best pay him to drink and eat there than let them wander off.
that. Yeah.
That's pretty responsible. So he doesn't drink and ride a horse.
But
Or-
I was thinking more drink and,
Go down the
Or
board.
drink and dive into the well.
Yeah.
It would certainly be easy to locate him.
All right.
So many things to do. Gotta go to the dock ward too.
Did MG have to go somewhere really quick? Is he still with us or?
He's still with us. He's just got his mic muted, so I'm
Muted.
assuming he had to step for a second.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. So you guys, we'll start with you. As you guys make your way, you guys are easily taken to the Sword Maiden. Basically, it is a female knight's head. The stone of it has been completely hollowed out, and where the mouth once was is a door, and it has stairs that lead up to it because it's actually on these stilts that are stuck into the ground at this one part of the city in the North Ward, and it's actually a shop, and there's a sign on it that says Thort's Findings.
Okay.
Shall we?
Okay. So you guys approach and the door is unlocked. And you open it and just like that little cliche little bell ring that rings whenever you hit the door, the door passes by a little bell that rings as you enter. It's interesting inside. It looks like if you've ever been to kind of like a thrift store or secondhand store where they have so much stuff inside that there's not really a good organizational system. So they have all these shelves and different things on different levels, but there's just piles and piles of stuff on each one of the shelves, all these trinkets, all these little things. And imagine going into the back room of a theater or some sort where they have all these interesting props and stage designs and all that kind of thing. Like, imagine that combined with like a thrift store all together.
That's awesome.
And it has multiple platforms, wooden levels that have these wooden stairs that like lead up to different platforms. Like they'll turn to the right to a different platform. but it's all one room, so it's awkward the way that it's built. It's kind of like a weird honey. It's kind of like a beehive of different platforms, and you can see about 2 platforms up, there is a robed figure that's standing on like a little step stool and trying to reach something and put onto a top shelf. It looks like some kind of globe of some sort. He's trying to put it back on the top shelf, and he's having a hard time because there's all these books and other things in the way as he's trying to put it up there.
Are you Thort?
Ah?
Are you Thort?
Who's there?
My name's Ashlyn.
Ashlyn?
Wonderful.
Ugh. I didn't hear
You
that.
need help?
I had trouble hearing that bell. I must need to get a bigger one. And he
Good idea.
starts to stumble down this step stool a little bit. You can see that he's barely putting any weight on his right leg. And as he gets down the step stool, he takes this old cane and he starts to kind of like lean up against the cane. Very old individual, very short, but looks to be human.
How short?
Probably about 5'2", which is very short for a
I'm
human.
A few inches taller than him, so I
Yeah.
would put the globe up.
Yeah,
Unless you need help with the globe, I can try to put it up for you.
I think I got it up there okay. And he-
Okay, yeah, it looks steady. Don't worry.
It's barely hanging on. Like, it looks like if somebody bumped that shelf, it would fall right off. What can I help you with today there, Ashlyn?
Well, we're looking for a couple things, right, Uncle Melvin and Callista?
Yes, but why do you not go first, my dear?
I was wondering, I was in the, not the City of the Dead. I was in the Trades Ward, and they said that at one of the, armor shops, you might have bracers here, maybe? Help me.
Bracers?
Bracers.
Bracers?
For
Ah.
your arms.
Oh, bracers! Oh!
Yes.
Yes, he starts to rub his beard a little bit. He's got the beard stash kind of combo. The beard kind of comes down to his middle of his belly. The cliche bald head with the furry gray hair on the sides as it kind of just wraps all around. He's, I thought, follow me, please. And he just, his cane is just hitting the wooden floor rather, abruptly as he's trying to walk across the floor. It's just pounding. Oh, yeah, you thought I was here somewhere. And he finds this area that looks like a bunch of books stacked up, and he just waves them back off of this massive trunk. And he opens the trunk and he starts digging. He almost gets his face like completely in there. The things are just flying out of the trunk left and right. Yeah, you're like dodging all this stuff as it's flying by your head and stuff. Just random trinkets and things just going flying everywhere. And he opens up and you see that he gets something's wrapped up in some kind of cloth. And he undoes it, and it looks like these beautiful golden bracers that look very intricately carved and have all these designs on them, and you think maybe perhaps these are the ones that you've been looking for.
Nice. Well, they certainly are pretty, and I'm a sucker for pretty things, so,
Aye. These are very pretty, yes.
How much would you be willing to part with them for?
Make me an offer.
I'm really bad at this game. Uncle Muffin, make me an offer.
Okay. Would you take the girl for them?
No, Uncle Muffin.
I smacked Muffin in the shoulder.
Sold! Absolutely.
No.
You told me to make her the offer.
Oh, but I'm...
Uncle Muffin.
Apologies. Well. Sir, may May I take a look at them?
Yeah, yeah, sure. He hands him over to you.
I'll look at them a little bit. Well, they are fairly nice. How about 3,500 gold?
He looks at you, squints a little bit. It's almost like he's trying to read your eyes, and your face is completely covered with a shroud. Oh. Sold!
Yay! Pretty racers.
You're the nice man.
Okay. I take out my watch.
Mundane bracers.
They do absolutely nothing.
Molfen can't detect magic, man.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic at will.
Sure. Are you casting a spell in here? He looks towards you as you are doing your incantations.
I want to see what you have.
There is glowing stuff happening all around you, including the bracers in Ashlyn's hands. But it's kind of weird because some of these glows are coming from piles and piles of stuff, random stuff. There's a lot of mundane things in here that are not glowing, but there are just little pings in every little.
Does there seem to be like an overwhelming type of magic here?
It seems like a combination of a lot of different things.
Combination of everything.
Yeah,
Do you
this.
think Lachlan would want anything, or Diana?
Maybe.
I'm certain that they can come back tomorrow on their own. If they had wished to come shopping, they would have.
Okay.
Callista, as you're going, you do see on one of the shelves to your right, it looks like some kind of alchemy area. And you can see there are a few what look to be potion bottles that are glimmering with your detect magic. You can see that there's an actual alchemy kit up there, like an alchemist kit and stuff like that.
Would Molfen have recognized the spell she was casting where she's done it so many times around?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, 'cause it's a like a racial thing. So yeah.
Molfen's going to
she
look
would do
over
it.
at Callista a little bit.
Do you see any scrolls or anything with your...
Do I? I'm just walking all the way around, just trying to pick up anything that really piques my interest in terms of.
You do see a book.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these pings are coming from underneath piles of things, so you'd have to move.
Okay.
You'd have to really infiltrate this guy's store to be able to find most of the
I'd
stuff.
ask him, do you mind if I look around those things?
Go ahead. See what you
So
find.
I will do so. I will start shuffling through here, looking for all the magical pings, focusing on the magical pings, not the mundane stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you do find a book, and inside the book it looks like an old wizard spell book that has
I'll hand it to Molfen.
some spells in it. Molfen, as you start to just look through it a little bit, it looks like a lot of low level stuff that you already know. What level spells can you cast at this point?
Up to 5th.
Up to 5th now? Okay. Tell me about it. You're trying to think of some spells that you don't have, but
Any magical arrows? Maybe Lachlan would like some magical arrows.
Let us just let Callista continue on her little bloodhound trip.
Or do you think he would like this bust of Cleopatra? Magic arrows, bust of Cleopatra.
ironically enough, as you hold up this bust of Cleopatra, it's actually glowing in Callista's eyes.
Oh no! Oh no! What kind of magic?
I think it would be conjuration.
Oh. Does it summon her?
Never know.
That's the one. Summons her. Lachlan would love that.
That's true. Lachlan might love Cleopatra. What do you think, Callista? Magic arrows or bust of Cleopatra?
She hasn't even found magic arrows yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
Callista,
Cleopatra then.
Callista digging through, you don't really seem to find any arrows that
I'll take the
That's
bust.
fine.
appear to be magical. You want the bust of Cleopatra?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at it. He looks at you. He's like, 300 gold.
Okay.
So you now have a magical bust of Cleopatra.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's see. Fifth.
Molphin looks at him too. Do you buy items, by chance?
He looks at you, just giving you a suspicious look. What is it that you have for sale?
Molphin is going to reach in and pull out
The Pad of Health.
no, because I don't know who has that.
I do. Never mind.
There are two scrolls, or two spells in that spell book that you don't have that are 5th level. Well, I don't know if you don't have them. You'll have to tell me. Legend Lore
Ooh.
and Modify Memory.
Ooh. Oh no! No!
Immediately.
No! Michael, no! What have you done?
You know what he's like.
What have you done?
I rolled.
No! Oh no! This is my worst nightmare. Oh
This is terrible.
no! Oh, Christy's like, I just want my stomach dropped.
These dice are breaking my campaign.
Yeah, Molphin only has one level 5 spell right now, and that's
It
not
doesn't matter.
That's
You-
a bad one.
Oh, oof.
Well, Coast, what are you looking for?
He does want 2,000 gold for that spell book, though.
That shouldn't
Molphin
be a
pulls
problem
out
for him.
200 platinum, drops it.
All right. Well, thank
What other
you.
magic items do you have? I have more money to spend.
You're free to peruse.
Yeah, I'm looking for like rings or pendants or ion stones or anything like that, like something, because I have attunement slots available, so I'm just looking for something to
Okay.
attune to, basically.
You don't really find, I mean, it's taken a while to dig through some of this stuff. You don't really find any ion stones or anything like that here in this establishment.
I didn't think so, but you know.
You do find, Callista, I think there's a staff that's glowing.
Oh.
Let me double check which one it was.
While you're looking at it, Molfin's finally pulled out the skull staff that he took off the, who was that? Was that off of...
The Lich?
No, Zolkin. The guy who was with Zolkin. Remember the guy who turned Zolkin into the hulking, like, monster
Yeah.
thing? That guy had a skull staff that Molfin
Oh.
took.
Do we know what it does? Oh, it doesn't do anything, does it?
I think it was I know it was a +1 quarterstaff,
Oh, okay.
but beyond that, I don't remember anything else.
There is a staff in the corner, Callista. That it looks like it's completely made of wood that just goes to the top, and the top it opens up into a small tree.
Ooh, that's pretty.
And it really,
I think I know what that is.
it really drew your attention as you saw it glowing. It's something that might be useful for you.
Okay, I will pick that up.
Can we sell them?
You were trying to sell him that staff, right, Molfin?
Yeah.
He takes it from you and he inspects it a little bit, but it doesn't really have. There's no magic to the staff itself. So he offers He offers you 25 gold for it.
Morphin will take it.
Okay. He hands over the
look at Callista. Should I sell this and pulls out the drift globe?
We haven't really needed it, have we?
Not
Well,
really.
you put out fire now whenever you're near anything, so with your face. So maybe we should keep it because it's not.
Well, he can't put out my fire.
Yeah, but you're not everywhere. The drift globe can be.
You put out fires with your face. I love that.
Morphin just looks at Ashlyn. Then here, you take it.
Okay. Do you want a hat? I'll buy you a hat. No? Okay. I found this hat. Okay.
How much for the staff?
He looks towards it and... that's a nice one. 4,000 gold pieces.
$3,500.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm using my nat 20.
Oh, she got me. She got me.
Because I don't know what I'm going to use it, so...
Nice. The nat 20 has been used, folks, on a persuasion check to talk down the price of a magical item. I love it. Only on Storm King Thunder here, Proficiency Bonus, folks. No, I say that, and it probably happens on every show we have here at Proficiency Bonus.
True.
It's like, very well. It's just sitting in the corner here. It looks awfully nice in that corner, though. Okay, 3,500.
Thank you.
He seems to take your deal.
Well, now we know this place is here. We can come back to it with Lachlan and Diana.
Muffin, roll a D100 for me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm nervous.
Yes. What explodes in our face?
A 38.
A 38. Excellent. As you're walking by one of the shelves, there is a really nice picture frame on one of the shelves. Has a one of those freestanding picture frames that you would just see on somebody's shelf. Probably has like a 5x7 image in it. It's a sketch of a goblin. And as you take a closer look, the goblin appears to be wearing makeup.
Oh my god.
Morphin's just gonna sort of pick it up. Callista, please tell me this is not what I think it is.
Oh, it's exactly what you think it is.
What is it?
Everybody who's there, make a perception check for me, please.
Oh, I don't know.
Callista, this thing is glowing if your spell is still on.
It is
That's a 9.
Oh.
22.
Muffin's busy scratching his face and just kind of looking away in disbelief. Callista, Ashlyn, you're just watching Muffin as he's holding this. Callista, you almost could swear that you saw the image wink at you.
How much for this?
I was going to ask that, but
Oh, that right there. That's rubbish. 50 gold?
deal.
Deal.
All right. You guys pay him 50 gold, and you have a framed picture of what appears to be Gum Gum the Goblin.
Stick it in his
Oh my god.
inner pocket.
Roll another D1. Roll another D100 for me, Muffin.
What are you sticking in my pocket?
No, I'm sticking the picture inside his inner pocket.
It's actually an iPad with FaceTime. Yeah.
Oh no!
That's hilarious. 81.
afraid now. I'm gonna get sucked in and stuck in a conversation with Gum Gum.
Diana would love that.
Sure.
Why don't we give that to Diana
Oh
as our
boy.
trip souvenir?
What did you roll?
I rolled an 81. He
Yeah,
said,
but
"Oh
what
boy,
did you
though."
roll?
Callista, there is something else that's glowing over in the corner.
Okay.
And at first, it just seems like a purple handkerchief.
Okay.
When you go and you pick it up on further inspection, it actually has embroidery on it, some elaborate embroidery, and it looks like some kind of symbols. And then you start to realize that some of it is a little bit, it looks like it ends up turning into a little bit of a font, and it actually has the name Black Cloak embroidered into it.
Okay. What type of magic am I getting from this?
It's strange. You're not getting a particular type. It almost changes within the moments that you hold it. 1 minute it'll be one type of magic, then a couple seconds later it's a different type of magic. It seems unstable.
I'm gonna ask Molfin to identify it, if possible.
Shopkeep, do you mind if I cast a spell to identify this item? We may be interested in purchasing it.
He looks at you. Fair enough.
Morphin will take a couple minutes and identify.
This is a handkerchief that was actually brought, you believe to be brought up from the Yawning Portal. And perhaps it changed a couple owners and ended up here. Apparently the owner tried to imbue it with some magical powers, and it can't 100% be identified because what happens is when you use it, some random spell effect will take place, almost like a wild, magic. It's a wild magic surge. Is basically what it is.
Oh no!
It is an item.
Fireball TPK.
Sometimes it could be something very helpful. Sometimes it could be something harmful.
Not so much.
It's a risk.
That's awesome.
Morphin will look down and look up at Callista and the shopkeep.
This is I suppose I'll call it a gambler's handkerchief. Interested and find out what happens.
Thort kind of looks over your shoulder saying, I tried to conjure some magic with it once, but then a unicorn appeared. It was a strangest thing.
Oh no! Oh no! Does
How
not
much
feel.
would you sell it for?
This does not feel natural. This does not feel right.
Callista, it is most definitely not.
How much for it?
Oh
How much do you
no!
want for it?
I think I could let it go for... What did you give me 1,000 gold pieces for it?
How many platinum is that? 100?
Well, I suppose. We'll call it 1,000.
All right. You guys now have a purple handkerchief that says Black Cloak on it that is instilled with wild magic.
Michael, is it fair to assume you gave me the Staff of Woodlands?
It is safe to assume, but it has not been identified yet, so...
Okay. Just checking.
You see other things in there. Not a lot of things like strike you as stuff that you could actually use. He has a lot of like most of the magic items that you guys are finding out are just these interesting trinkets and things. If you want to keep looking, you can keep looking.
What was were the potions just the healing potions?
Looks, yeah, you see a couple that remind you of healing potions. You see one that has like a blue bubbling liquid in it. That's giving off an aura of I'm not sure what kind of magic that would be. Basically, it's the essence is it's a potion of heroism.
Oh, so it's the same thing I gave to Brock.
Yeah, you've seen it before.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how many are up there?
It seems like there's 2 heroism potions and 4 potions. It looks like 2 potions of regular healing and 2 of greater.
Callista, should we just clear the shelf?
Well,
I already have 2 potions of healing.
We can
Well, we
always
could-
use more.
That's true.
yeah, I guess the healing. We don't really need the heroism ones, do we?
Your call.
Do you?
Old man, how much for the healing potions?
He looks him over, and I think greater were... The greater ones were kind of expensive. I can't remember exactly how much they were. I know the regular ones were 75 gold pieces, I believe. I think that's in the player's handbook. I'm trying to keep it to, here we go, healing potion.
Krista doesn't really need any of them, but it's like
Um,
the heroism one
Player's
to Brock.
handbook listed. It looks like it's 50.
50, yeah. So we'll say the greater ones will probably be about 100 each.
Okay. So 300. So
At least that's what his price would be.
Yeah. So we say 250 for the lot of them. You've made a decent amount of coin off us so far this evening.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna burn my DM's inspiration from last week.
All right.
Hey-o.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a -1 to persuasion, so
As we kind of rolled into a shopping episode. Oh, nice.
Wow.
He looks at you. He's like, "Deal," and I'll throw these in too. And he hands you 2 like anti-venom vials as well. That will get rid of the poison condition.
Nice.
Question: is was that part of the alchemist kit? Is alchemist the same as poisoner, or no? Is that different?
I think they're different. Yeah,
They're different. Okay, never mind.
yeah. Poisoner kit focuses on the poisons and being able to do that sort of thing. I
Gotcha.
think alchemy is more like the healing potions and anti-venoms and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Malfin will look at Ashlyn very pointedly and say, Ashlyn, look, for when we have to deal with snakes.
Haha.
I
I'm immune to poison now, though.
mean, every day. I need more than that.
I can sneeze on you.
You
Please
can,
don't.
you guys have been rolling like crazy tonight with some of your rolls. They've been great.
So, shall we go back to the Yawning Portal, or are you going to Lachlan's house? I'm really confused.
I was pretty much uninvited to Lachlan's house,
Okay.
so
Given
I'll
that,
go
well,
back to
given
the
the
Yawning Portal.
I don't think he wants me tattling on him.
I got some stuff with the thing.
I'm gonna find a different place to stay.
Okay.
Okay.
But are you guys doing anything tonight? Do I need to meet you somewhere?
No, I'm just going back to the room, and I'm gonna give Lachlan this.
Okay.
Malfin very
I don't know
pointedly
what he
looks at
does.
Ashlyn. So you're
Yeah?
not going to the Bloody Fist this evening to pummel some poor soul.
Not yet. You guys identify this?
I'll do it when we get back in the carriage.
Okay.
So you guys head out of the store. Thort gives you a nice gesture as you walk out. Coming?
We'll be back.
He does the cliche, "Come again." You know,
We'll be back. Yes.
looks like a pretty likable guy, even though he's having a hard time hearing and seeing anymore. And you guys head on to the carriage, taking your carriage ride. Lachlan, we're gonna go back to you at the bar as you guys are hanging out with your friends. And Tren looks at you. He's like, "So, Luck, what's the plan? Are you gonna stick around for a while, or? I mean, I know you might be, a little hesitant to tell me what's going on with the rest of them around, but
Yeah. I'm drinking on Gramps' tab.
That's it. Yeah, you guys are all like Riser. Looks like he's had a couple. He's had more than a couple. He looks like he can drink a lot.
Well, Tren, I got one more big job to do. Maybe two more big jobs, and then I'm back.
So what's the so Alduck, man, that's pretty crazy. That's the first time I've seen him.
That was
crazy.
So
So you think you can find what he's talking about? I mean, you think you can find a magic user that can imbue that kind of power?
Man, we've been all over the world. We've met all kinds of people. I think it's doable. I've got to make it happen. I've got to take this opportunity, you know? I've got to finish this.
Brock, like, lets out a belch and looks at you. Maybe Callista could do it.
Would she?
Hey, she fixed my nose twice.
You have a good point. You guys dare me to ask her?
I'm not going to be around when you do. I'll go. I'll have him lower me into the pit. I'd rather be down there.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Thing is, I've never seen her turn off magic. You know, she's good at making the magic happen. I've never seen her shut it down. That's gonna be tricky. But
yeah,
I mean,
good.
The thing is that I've got this job and one other big job, and I think when I'm out there, I'm gonna find what I'm looking.
What's the other job?
I mean, you guys know what's been going on, right?
Like what?
Like you heard about that castle flying over the...
Oh, yeah. Man, we wish we had a way up there.
I might find one. I mean, I've been on one before.
You've been on one?
Yeah.
I bet you there was so much that you could just take. You probably got so rich.
Well, I was rich.
Yeah. Well, where did you get all that coin?
I'm telling you guys, there's a big old world out there. There's a lot to take.
Trying to kind of
sometimes the people you're taking it from, they're not even bad, or they're not even that good. Like we took from like liches and monsters in the sewers.
Wow. He kind of looks down. He looks like he's pondering something a little bit. Man, I've been stuck in Waterdeep for so long. I guess I didn't realize there was bigger and better things out there. Huh.
That doesn't mean I've changed. I'm still the guy that you knew. And I'm coming back when this is all over.
Okay.
It's gonna be back to the old days.
Yeah, of course. And he just takes another sip and make an insight check.
All right. Just getting up and running there.
You almost get a sense like he doesn't 100% believe that statement, but is, just under the influence of the beverages by now. He's kind of just buying into it for right now.
I love you, man. I love you.
You're doing like the college.
Come on, bro.
You kind of shake him back and forth a little bit. I know.
Abandoning you guys.
I know. It's just hasn't been the same here. It's just we had all these like strange requests from the boss. I mean, they just weren't the same. Like, who asks someone in a guild that's made for thievery to go find someone to find a glass blower to make an eyeball? I mean, just strange stuff, man. And now I'm finding out what's been really going on, and I don't know. I'm just starting to second guess myself and everything that I've been doing for the last several years.
You gotta keep it together, man. But it is weird, isn't it?
It is. I was working for that thing.
Oh yeah, and it's but maybe if we help him, maybe it'll be good for us.
Maybe.
Things seemed powerful, didn't it?
It did.
It's good to have powerful things on your side.
But you know, Locke, if he was so powerful, why is he so worried? I don't know, it just...
He said that name, right? He said that name, Xanathar.
Yeah, I try to stay clear of their guild members, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're rough.
Like we're getting mixed up in something big here.
You think we're rough, they are rough.
You guys have to stay safe. You know, I can't stick around this time. I do have to go. I'm gonna come back, but you guys have to stay safe while I'm gone.
Oh, totally, we can do this. And all of a sudden, Riser passes out on the table. And spills one of the glasses of tankards of ale, and it just goes pouring off the edge of the table.
Party.
Trying to pluck one of his hairs out.
He looks over at Riser laying there, and he looks back at you. He really missed you, man.
Oh.
I missed you guys, but you know.
Well, at least when he's like that, he doesn't have a chance to get like he normally does, which is yeah, like that. Yeah, we don't want that to happen, especially here.
Oh, not in here, no. I missed you guys.
And it's about that time where the rest of you were going back to the Yawning Portal. Is that right? Were you guys hitching a ride back?
Yep.
It's about that time during the conversation?
No, I was not going back.
Okay, you weren't going back?
No,
Okay.
I have other plans.
Okay. It's about that time that Molfin and Ashlyn make their way back to the bar. It's getting kind of late.
Guys!
You can see that all of Lachlan's friends have been enjoying Molfin's payment and definitely have had their fill of the tab.
Crabs!
Lachlan, Lucky, Cobra, Snakehead, whatever.
Hey.
I got you something.
Wow, it's great.
Here.
It's a stone sculpture bust.
Of what is it?
Uncle Morphin?
Oh, did you
Have
you identify it?
I spent the time on the ride back identifying items for the two of them.
Molfin, if this magic item is placed at an entry to a house or establishment, and it basically it's imbued with an alarm spell, and it actually looks after the front door of an establishment, like it will actually like wake up and just watch all night long, and then go back to its dormant sculpture self during the day.
There you go, Lachlan.
Hopefully let them know it's a portable alarm.
Yes, that's what it is.
Wow. Ashlyn, this is amazing.
Thought you might like it. Fellow snake, right?
Brock starts going.
I'm like trying not to like let a little tear mist up in front of the boys. You know, I don't want to look like a wuss.
Awesome. Callista, where were you headed?
I first wanted to go either. Well, I wanted to sell the dragon wing.
Okay.
And the claws and teeth.
Your gut tells you that you're probably not going to be able to sell those on
Here?
up top, but maybe maybe below.
Okay.
Your gut tells you that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was something I could do here or
Mm.
how would they would they be for the black market, that be something for constructing armor or some sort of plating with the scales?
You might be able to see if somebody could do that.
Okay. So I'll
Yeah.
hold on to those. Then instead I'm gonna find one of like the hot spring bathhouses that me and Anastazius used to go to.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. You can either.
And I want to spend like just pretty much the exact same place where we would sit. Like I would find our corner, go relax, and check the crystal ball that Anastazius threw at me.
Okay, excellent. As you do that, you get out this crystal ball, and all of a sudden, inside the crystal ball, you see looks like a halfling male's face appear. And it just looks at you and he's like, hey, okay, so what's going on?
He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
The Lich killed him. And then the Raven Queen blocked me from bringing him back.
Huh. That's a shame. We were getting closer. Huh.
What exactly did he tell you?
I don't think it's more about what he told me. It was more about what I was telling him, I think. Listen, I really need to go.
Where?
Well,
You're my last connection to him. Tell me what you know.
well, I'm trying to find my master.
Who's your master?
You see, that's the thing. I can't really remember. Anastazius said he was going to try to help me. I believe him most times. He got really aggravated whenever I tried to get away from him every single night. Which I can't promise I won't do the same to you.
What do you mean, get away from?
Immediately, the crystal ball grows these like spider legs.
Oh, jeez.
And he starts wiggling in your hands, and you're holding on to him, and he's trying to like jump out of your hand, but you gotta grasp, like this.
I drop him in the water and see what happens.
You drop him in the water.
Yeah.
He goes bloop, and he splashes in the water, and you just see the bubbles start to form up.
I pick it back up.
It's like, what was that about?
You're not going anywhere like this.
Oh, good point. I'll just wait till you fall asleep. Anastazius was always good at keeping one eye open, though. Just couldn't seem to get it. Well, okay. Just I know whoever made me was a very powerful mage of some sort.
Are you sure he didn't tell you anything at all? Even just mundane?
He did talk a lot. I mean, what exactly are you looking to find? I mean,
He mentioned...
let me tell you, the man could talk.
Yes, he can. Did he tell you anything about a drow? He told me he knew where a drow was, and he was going to tell me.
He did mention the name Riled.
So he mentioned it.
He did. He said that he was afraid to tell you, so he wanted to show you what he knew.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think he knew that you trusted him, but I guess he just felt like you would need to see it to believe it.
That's all he told you?
Well, he told me that more would be unraveled once you got to civilization. I think he said something about Waterdeep. That's where we are now, right?
Yes. If you remember anything more, tell me.
Yeah, sure.
And I will take on his quest to get you out of there. In exchange for proper information.
Oh, absolutely. If you can get me out of here, that would be great.
I don't know if it's possible, but is it possible to insight check on Crystal Ball, dude?
Sure. Go ahead. It's always possible to insight a crystal ball.
Okay. This feels so dumb.
Nat 1.
Oh.
Nat 20!
He's being 100% honest with you. Anastazius did have conversations with him about this.
Does he appear to be holding back?
Doesn't appear to be holding back. It's almost as if, maybe Anastazius he didn't 100% get to a point where he was ready to tell this crystal ball creature this yet. Was kind of building up to it and then just didn't get the opportunity.
Okay. Then yeah, I just kind of spend my time just kind of asking him about Anastazius, what he knows, what he doesn't know, and just have a conversation with him about that, just to like get my mind off of him not being here. At least I have some sort of connection, and I think she'll spend probably the night there.
Yeah, it's very comforting, just having this conversation about Anastazius, because it brings back all those memories, and it almost makes you feel as if he is there, and he's just, just maybe out and about perusing the shops or at the taverns playing his shows and stuff like that.
And that was very normal for the two of us. Like, I would stay somewhere and he would be out all night, and then he would always come back in the morning. So that's kind of where she is in her headspace at the moment.
Right.
But she just wants to be away from everybody, so she will not go back to the Yawning Portal that night.
Yeah.
Unless they need me, but I doubt it.
Yeah, you don't sense anything like off-putting about this little halfling face or anything like that. It seems to be, legitimately telling you the truth and being honest, and you don't have a sense of any malice or anything by it. He desperately seems like he's really trying to find out who made or trapped him, or he's seeking this powerful mage.
Aren't we all?
Seems like that's the theme of the campaign now, is everybody find a powerful magic user. But yeah, as that's happening, we go back to the Yawning Portal with the rest of the group. What are you guys doing? I mean, it's starting to get really late. I would say, Callista, that would probably be where you would kind of settle in and get comfortable. What about the rest of you? At the Yawning Portal?
Yeah.
There's probably like a wash bin or something in your room where you could just kind of get yourself clean. Not like a full-on,
not a full-on proper bath.
Full-on proper bath, but...
Yeah, I clean up Cleo too, probably begrudgingly, but I do it.
Yeah, Cleo is getting pretty big. I mean, I'd say you guys are about what? You guys probably had them for about 3 months now, game time?
At least.
Probably about 3, maybe 3.5 months.
Since the tower? Sephiroth?
Yeah, it's been a while. So that's probably about almost halfway through their growth for when they're full grown.
So how big are they then?
They're getting big. I mean, you can't just willy-nilly it's like kind of like having a big dog. I mean, it's just like, it's like...
I will pay whatever amount of money to get Cleo in with me.
All right.
I will go pay for a private room.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Cleo is more fully feathered now. Not so much has the white feathers on the head yet, maybe more like a pale brown on the head.
Oh,
but they're definitely, the two are growing up, and they're growing up healthy with all the training that you had from...
and you said there's a Griffin Cavalry here, right?
There is, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
as you guys are walking the streets, you do see them occasionally, like flying above. They try to stay really high up in the air, so you guys really can't tell that they're even there. But you do see them occasionally flying overhead. Okay, Yawning Portal, folks.
Waltham's going to clean up as he can and spend a little time putting some spells in his spell book and then crashing for the night.
Okay.
Fuck, what do you say we do the Fight Club tomorrow night? The Bloody Fist.
Lachlan can barely talk.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Tomorrow night. Right.
Right.
Trent's like, tomorrow night, okay. And he looks like he's visibly getting pretty messed up too. He's
God damn it.
he's like, well, you know what? I want to go watch this because I think that'll be amazing.
Do it, man. It's gonna be crazy.
And it seems like things are kind of dying down in the Yawning Portal a little bit. Some people are headed up to rooms, and
I'll go to my room and I'll look at
I'm gonna be sneaking out.
45. Make a persuasion check.
Make a persuasion check. I have no charisma. This is not good.
Oh no!
He thinks about it, and then he's kind of like, we're both drunk. I don't know. I don't want to. You got the sense like he doesn't want to hurt your feelings or anything like that. So he chooses to go ahead and just bow out this time.
Okay.
Gentlemen.
Trent's a pretty good guy, and you've known him for a while, Lachlan. Like, it's weird that he's in a thieves guild because he doesn't, and maybe part of that is why he makes a good member of the thieves guild is because people don't really suspect him to be up to no good.
That's friend.
He's pretty good with that. And I think that's where, well, I don't know, people kind of suspect you for being up to no good. So I don't. You've tried to emulate this, but it's not been very successful for you. And
That's tricky.
And you guys head up, and
I would be sneaking out.
Oh, you're gonna sneak out?
Where?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you gonna sneak out to, Lachlan?
I want to drunkenly go home.
Okay. Lachlan, you stumble about. You're stumbling through the alleys. Make a survival check for me since you're drunk.
He's gonna fall into the portal.
Ooh, 13. Unlucky.
No, yeah, you're able to find your way around, and you're getting through there. It's it's dark, and eventually you come to the point where you come around a corner, and there are two guys standing in the alley. And one of them's just like looking at you and going, "Where do you think you're going?"
Think who's going?
You. Where are you going? You look like you're lost.
I mean, I know exactly where I'm going. Where are you going?
Just lay down that coin pouch. And we'll let you go.
Oh no! Oh no!
I want to pull out my pockets that are there's not even lint in there. I'm just laughing.
Are you carrying your bow on you, aren't you?
It would be slung over my shoulder, yeah.
Okay. The bow.
Oh, what bow?
These guys start approaching you. They look human, shady, look pretty muscular as they start to approach.
How far away is he?
We have no idea he's gone.
Oh
He's-
no, he snuck out.
He snuck out.
I forgot.
Make a perception check with disadvantage, Lachlan, since you're drunk.
Alrighty. Perception.
Or you can use your... Oh! I was going to say...
Wow.
One of them has a tattoo.
Oh no! Oh no!
And it looks like a circle with
Oh no!
10 lines that come out from it. And you recognize it as a marking of Xanathar's guild.
Oh.
Can we see? Can we wait? Before this happens, Lachlan, could he make a stealth check to see if he snuck out?
Sure. Make it with disadvantage, because you're drunk.
Yeah.
Go home, you're
I'm
drunk.
not there, so it shouldn't be hard. Oh! Wow! Wow!
What's your passive perception, Ashlyn?
19.
19. Okay.
Mine to 20.
Yours is a 20. You guys, after you got cleaned up, Muffin, you decided just to take a quick walk out to the kind of balcony area. And Ashlyn, you saw Muffin head out there, so you just went up there to just kind of like just chat with him. And then you hear some stumbling going down the steps, and you look over, and you notice Lachlan is making his way towards the front door of the Yawning Portal. He's got his bow slung over his shoulder. His shirt's like his armor's like half unbuttoned, or actually it used to be your short shirt because you'd taken your armor off.
Yeah.
So he's got his shirt unbuttoned. He looks like he's sweating. His hair is wet.
Do you think he's okay, Uncle Muffin, or should you send off infants with him?
Perhaps we should follow a little ways behind. Not further enough so he doesn't notice, but
Okay.
he is more than a little drunk, it appears. Perhaps 5 platinum was a little much to leave for them.
I think so.
So this is all Muffin's
Probably.
It's all Muffin's fault. Go ahead, Ashlyn and Muffin, since you guys wanted to kind of slink back from him, go ahead and make stealth checks with advantage because he's wasted.
Wow, Muffin.
Wow, Gramps.
So, Lachlan, you feel like during this whole thing, like you feel the presence of somebody behind you, but it's about that time where you ran into these two guys when you finally started to realize it, just because of your perception and your senses have been just so out of whack with all the alcohol that you had at the Yawning Portal.
They're approaching me from all sides.
Yeah, it's like,
Looking bad.
You're surrounded.
Can drunk people cast spells?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think it.
Yeah.
I guess drunk is the poison condition, right? Is that what that? So basically, you have. Yeah, that's how I would treat it. So you have disadvantage on attack rolls. No, is it attack rolls? I
Drunk?
think it's skill checks and attack rolls.
Skill
Yeah, I
checks
think
and
so.
attack rolls. Cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's unfair, you guys, to pick on one guy.
With my stealth, could I have gone around the other side of the dude to look at them? Like,
Let me see. Yeah. You slip through some shadows and make your way. Like you saw what was happening, so are you trying to like go around the block to the other side of the alley? Is that what you're trying to do? Like get
like
kind of
that
see around?
house or whatever it is to the other side.
Yeah, you're able to do that. Mulfin, I guess, would be staying on the other side. You hear one of them go, "You're not by yourself. Someone behind you.
I figured I was one of you guys.
Maybe Creeper back there's got some money he can give us."
I turn around.
And you see Mulfin approaching.
Gramps?
Looks like he came just in time to buy your safety.
I'm gonna hit one on the head with my staff.
Okay, make an attack as you sneak up behind. Make an attack.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh wait, should I? Oh, too late. Okay.
You already did it.
Yep.
Yes, you can. You hit him. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
Good call.
Ouch.
Oh god! The City Watch finds you guys.
All right, Lachlan, Mulfin, Ashlyn, go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh my god,
Oh
you guys!
no. Oh no, what have we done?
Every time Callista's not there to babysit.
Every time. Every single time.
Every time! I'm just like enjoying a nice hot.
Yeah.
God damn it, you guys! You're starting a fucking guild war!
So,
Oh yeah, that's the guild war. Oh yeah.
so
Yeah, you guys are the Seven Snakes and you're going Xanathar! You guys! You're starting the Waterdeep campaign!
Mulfin.
Knock them out so we can run away.
It's fine, it's so ironic.
Okay. That's fantastic. So you guys hear Ashlyn all of a sudden, he just comes out of nowhere and just bam, right on the back of one guy's head. You hear him go, oh, what was that? Oh, they got one behind us. And then he turns around, and that's where we're going to stop the session for this week.
Smooth. Wow. Oh God, Christy hates this.
I am so sorry. I didn't know.
It's okay.
Hitting him would be a
It's just so
whole thing.
ironic that it's the two Zens fighting two Xanathars. Oh, jeez.
It's fitting.
Fuel in the fire.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was awesome,
Wow,
guys. That was
You're wrong.
that was great.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody. Lots of intrigue and different things happening. Some shopping as we acquired some new merchandise, and some people are trying to take Lachlan's merchandise. So
Could have gone poorly.
that was pretty cool. So thank you guys once again for tuning in tonight to Storm King's Thunder. This was episode 66. We will be live next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern for episode 67. Wow, getting close to 70, guys. My goodness,
Oh,
that's crazy. How about a nat 20 for tonight? Anybody have any ideas on who we can award a nat 20 to?
I'm
Rocket.
torn
Fires out
between
with your
Lachlan and
face.
Ashlyn.
Fires out with your face. Ashlyn did have
I'm
some pretty
torn,
good
yeah.
lines.
Ashlyn, like, Mom. I mean,
Yes, that was amazing.
and just being flirted with all night.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It didn't-
Overworked.
Yet.
yeah.
You get that nat 20, maybe you can.
Oh yeah, we can
yeah.
see the.
I'm gonna burn my nat 20 on this persuasion check, right? Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and I agree. I think we're gonna go ahead and give it to Ashlyn for next week.
Thank
And I'm
I
gonna
was torn between her and Lachlan, but
Yeah,
that's some
Yeah,
pretty good stuff.
Lachlan had some good moments too. I was when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna sneak out." I was like, "Oh wow." I didn't expect that to be coming. That was
It always goes well when he goes away from the party, you know.
Always.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a drunk guy all alone out in the dark in Waterdeep.
Penniless drunk.
Penniless
Yeah.
drunk guy.
He owns a magical item strapped to him.
Well, that was great, guys. Wonderful job. I can't wait till next week as we get to dive into this scuffle out in the open streets of Waterdeep and get to dive in a little bit more and see where our party heads to next. So if you find yourself in the middle of the alleyway at the middle of the night, drunk off your butt, and you're only equipped with a magical bow that people want to steal from you, don't forget to add that proficiency bonus. And it's always good to have a monk sneaking up behind them too.
Don't forget your proficiency bonus and your monk.
Yeah. Proficiency bonus and a monk in the back pocket always works.
Yep.
And, creepy spellcaster with a shroud on his face too is
Sad too.
always
Yeah.
always a plus. You guys have a wonderful night,
Say that
and
now, wait till next week.
oh yeah.
Oh no.
I can only imagine what Wolfman's gonna do to those guys.
Oh, no. Modify memory.
Modify memory. Well, you guys, thank you so much. We're so glad that you tuned in tonight. If you haven't gotten a chance to follow us yet, make sure you hit the follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hang out with us, and just check out all of our material and content that we've got on there. Until next time, we will see you soon. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.